Alrighty, guys, here we are. Game number 1 in our second decider set of the day. It will be Vivi in the blue as the Incas to the north of the map. And in the south, in the red, as the Poles, it will be DauT. So like we were saying, Inca's going to be much more aggressive, could possibly struggle in late game. DauT's going to need to figure out a way to get there.
And, well, on this map, usually you can get there, despite the rock terrain where you can't wall. You can pretty much rely on the fact that you are super far away from your opponent. It is not just that you have to go in a straight line to your opponent, you have to go all the way around the outside, which makes the rush distance much larger than it is on pretty much any other normal map.
Yeah, it's sort of the dichotomy between the unbuildable terrain, but also the fact that the rush distance is very long. So you can't really wall completely early on, so you see some sort of feudal age aggression in almost every game, but not typically all that much, unless you're going forward. Which we do see sometimes, and Vivi is certainly not a player who's above going for a forward. Without...
Not at all.
Weakening the elephant right there. Or rhino. I know my pachyderms, I promise.
So my dream for the Nineville start is to be able to get whole houses one tile away from the TC.
Oh,
so you
that'd
have
be
that
sick.
farming. Right. Maybe not on enclosed. Maybe on enclosed they should still start around the circle for the wall. But one day we're gonna have that technology.
Yeah, that would certainly be ideal. I mean, so like on the one hand, you don't really have any space to farm in your starting area as DauT, but a lot of space as you sort of move further and further south. So again, I mean, the first Folvark is actually going to be coming up on the inside. He's going to have room probably for around 7 farms.
Yeah, and I've seen this quite a bit. The map places all of your resources, your berries, your golds, and your stones outside of that unwallable rock terrain. But you don't really need those right away at the start, and sometimes players go for a very walled approach right along the front of their enclosure, and then spend their feudal age farming on the inside.
And of course, with Poles, that might be even a little bit more attractive because of the the farming bonus you get. Very quick uptime here from DauT, all things considered. 20 pop, no loom. Eric's is coming in, though, so it's not going to be for, like, a full passive eco approach. It's just going to be, well, probably a more or less normal Scouts build.
Yeah, and Vivi did go for that loom. Also, DauT not moving out at all. Not going to worry about the berries on the outside. Not going to take any gold. As I said, just not doing the loom because he knows he's going to be safe on the inside. Unless that eagle comes forward and maybe spots that villager on the barracks.
She'll be fine.
This is a very
so I guess,
tired Ornlu.
Yeah. Oh, here we go, T-West. Here we go. This is the Vivi we know and love. And as we've been saying, there is a situation here where DauT just gets pinned inside his little starting area, his enclosure, shall we say. And I could like this a lot here for Vivi.
Yeah, and if Vivi, he sees that stone there. DauT doesn't have any stone inside of the enclosure. And if Vivi just starts putting towers up around the outside, he's going to deny a lot of farming space for DauT.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we
definitely
see
do one
slobs
tower
on this map sometimes, right? Because they can just farm in this whole area without having to go on the outside, but Poles need to do those around Folvarki, and that's going to be a lot harder to place effectively. Vidak's coming in for both players, and it's just going to be a pure trash rush for Incas, which they do better than most Civs with the food discount.
Yep, so just skirms and spears, and usually the Scouts build is kind of a weaker counter to that, because you don't immediately have a unit that can fight the spears. You can amass a lot of Scouts and eventually go Scout Skirm, but right at the start, the spears are tricky to deal with. And you're not going to be able to deny towers with Scouts.
Now, DauT will be able to get his tower down ahead of his opponent. You can see... do you keep building the tower at that point? Because Incas maybe get a little bit more stone savings? I think you do. Now DauT's going to have to come down. I think depending on when they cancel it, Vivi might have enough stone for a second tower, whereas DauT might not. Oh, especially if he does that.
Yeah, it's tricky because the Inca towers are cheaper, and Vivi can go relocate. And if you're the defender and you build too much of your tower, then you're not going to have stone for the second one. So now you can place one more tower. But Vivi can kind of do the same thing again with how cheap his towers are, or you just build it and mine some stone, because DauT does not have any stone at all. And we see at the back at his home base, Vivi's moving out to grab some stone.
That he is indeed. DauT does have his 3 scouts on the field, though, and they are already crossing the map. Now, Vivi does have Loom, of course, but it's not like DauT is completely stuck in his base by any means.
Yep, and Vivi also doing exactly what you want to do against the scouts. You small wall all of your resources, and then if you only have scouts and don't have an archer unit, there's no way you can pressure the Vils. Unless they over-forage or over-chop somewhere, he's very safe.
Whoa, hold on, T-West. Villagers are getting bold and brave, but remember, the pole villagers do regenerate HP. And that is...
And remember, Vivi cannot go and rush down DauT's tower the way DauT can Vivi's tower, because DauT's is protected by the TC.
Exactly. The skirmishers, though, can poke away at the villagers from the back, so at least forcing those Vils away for the time being. All of this, though, just buys a little bit more time. Remember, I think it's 108 stone for an Incan tower. So that's at least a little bit more manageable. Also, Vivi was able to afford horse color while all this is happening, but still, the power of poles and the fact that he didn't go forward, DauT's eco is superior to that of his opponents. At least for now.
But the tricky thing for DauT is he can't repair that tower forever. Vivi can with the stone. But he's abandoning it. Might just go for another tower, which that's something DauT definitely won't be able to fight.
Nope. And DauT's not going to have any access to gold or stone anytime soon. I mean, he barely even has the room in his base for a market. That said, DauT's own skirmisher production is starting, and the scout plus skirm army composition is generally speaking better than spearman plus skirmisher because the scouts and skirms can dictate fights with the extra range and mobility.
Yeah, and here goes DauT, sending everything forward, and Vivi doesn't have many spears there. Only one spear there guarding the skirms. And DauT's going to try to fight the tower with Vils and the army with scouts and Vils at the same time.
Yeah, this should be a really nice mop-up from DauT. You also have the extra bonus damage against the ranged units as the poles. Another nice little bonus right there. And this is looking to maybe get completely cleaned up by DauT. Really, really nice from him here in this game number 1.
Yeah. And I think DauT is showing how it's much easier to defend the Trush when you're near your TC than you are if you're far away from the TC. And just the added benefit of being able to get the villagers back and forth to the tower to keep them healed, while also protecting your own towers with the TC, makes it so much smoother.
Yeah, and because DauT took that good fight, he feels safe enough to go to the berries here on the outside. That's going to give him that essential resource income that he's going to need. Oh, wait, hold on. DauT got trapped in. Oh, wait, he didn't completely wall it in, though. Oh, that's such a fail for Vivi. That could have been 2 free villagers.
Yeah, and now we see the danger of those towers on this enclosure. DauT's losing 2 farms right now. And he's kind of at the point where he doesn't want to delete them because he'd like to farm them. But I guess if you're Poles, you're the civ most happy to delete farms and rebuild them because of your full farm bonus.
Yeah. And yet... Oh, look at the DauT's even sneaking way to the back to mine some stone. Even picking up a blacksmith, too. But this is, again, where the better
why is he
army
doing a
composition...
blacksmith? He has one.
Then why is he building another one? Wait a minute. No, he's building a second blacksmith. What are you doing, DauT?
Double blacksmith time. Let's go.
You know, he saw Vinch do it in the previous series against MBL and thought, you know what, this is what I need. I think that might...
He's only using one.
Yeah, not sure about that one, guys. Fletching coming in now here for both players. Vivi 1 Vil ahead, just, you know, by a tiny, tiny margin. And it looks like a little bit more mining happening. No gold being collected by either player. Poles, of course, just get the gold from the stone. But this is really where the Scout Skirmisher army composition is going to be a lot better because it's really hard for those spearmen to actually ever engage the Scouts. Just you can't force that fight.
Yep, and another tower going up there for Vivi. That Vil is kind of weak. Remember, Inca Vils don't get their armor until the Castle Age. So Pole Vils healing give them the advantage in the Feudal Age.
Look at these spearmen, man. They are not able to do anything. Well microed from DauT.
Yep, and this is where you just need to keep your units on stand ground, make sure the scouts don't fight any spears that you don't want them to, and just take the fight to push the army back. And now that tower will be denied.
Oh, and the Vil's gonna die too. Oh, this is a disaster even. DauT's not losing anything. Vivi's going to get completely wrecked. There was like 2 scouts that died to the spearmen, and like, oh, man. That is rough.
Yeah, and Vivi still has 3 vills in that tower. DauT can't really take the tower down at this point with how walled in it is, but he's cleared the army. And now he basically has a free boom.
Well, he's free economically, also, and he can go for a counterattack. And like, Vivi can't do anything to stop that. He's going to try and build a defensive tower at home, but there's only so much he can do safely.
Yeah, DauT floating a bit of wood. As he deletes the farms that are forward under the tower, he resigns himself to the fact he's not going to clear it, and then just farm on the outside.
Yeah, but he can do that with absolute impunity. And, I mean, if you're getting this big of a lead early on as Poles versus Incas, I'm not even sure how Vivi makes it to Castle Age without being at a huge deficit. I mean, he's down 20 in the KD right now. This is like Ornlu playing Call of Duty with his friends who are a lot better than him. The KD is just not there, man.
So we're seeing the effect of the skirms now. They were forcing Vivi to do the towers at home, but it's hard to get enough towers to cover everything, and we see some vills on those berries needing to run back to the safety of the gold mine for the tower.
Yeah, it's just a very awkward situation all around here for Vivi. He's not getting to Castle Age anytime soon. DauT has 24 vills on gold right now. He's getting the market in. He can just sell a little bit of stone. Of course, just getting that gold being generated from the stone really helpful for DauT. He's getting a defensive tower down. And it's just he has all these resources. And I like the idea from what Vivi did. It's just the execution was not there. And DauT just had the time he needed to get to Scout plus Skirmisher. And it's just such a better army composition.
Yeah, but now he's doing his own towers to clear up Vivi's towers.
Yeah. Really smooth game.
Don't worry, chat. DauT is not doing a third blacksmith. The blacksmith and the Folvark just share the same foundation graphics.
Just the 2.
Yeah. They invested into the good old building graphics, but not into the foundation. If you use the mod that shows what all the different buildings are, like the flat buildings, then it gets confusing.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Third blacksmith yet. Yeah, that's the big condition right there. Well, house gonna be threatened a little bit there, but I don't see a world where Vivi is faster up to Castle Age than DauT, and even so, DauT's gonna have a way bigger and better army. Yeah, Vivi mining a lot. I mean, it's not like Vivi's super far from Castle Age, especially with a little bit of market help. I'm just not really convinced that... Oh, okay, like, he's getting up to Castle Age. He's 1,200 resources behind. Okay, looks like the timings are actually basically the same. But it's like, where do you even go from here as Vivi?
Yeah, but looking at that market usage, DauT sold 100 wood. Vivi sold 400 wood and 100 stone.
Yeah, DauT didn't need to get the armor upgrade, and it is slowing down his Castle Age time by a little bit, but I don't really think it matters all that much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's a good point, because the scouts themselves have 2 pierce armor, and the skirms do 3 damage with fletching, so it's still 1 damage even after the armor. The only situation is if the skirms are on a hill with the hill bonus, they'll do an extra 0.25 damage to scouts that don't have the armor.
Yeah.
And the
Doesn't
spears
really
is mostly
matter.
the bonus attack anyway, so I probably would have preferred the attack upgrade there for DauT if we're gonna go for one. It does help under the towers though, and the towers are maybe what he's most concerned about keeping the scouts alive from.
Skirmishers are kind of getting wrecked by the watchtower. Don't necessarily know why they need to sit under that. That's not ideal for DauT, but still, again, full eco, not having the villagers forward, that is such a huge advantage. Yes, Vivi's going to have the triple forward barracks, but DauT should just be able to go for a lot of knights, and I don't think Vivi is going to have enough eagle spam to stop that. Especially with DauT on 3 stables.
Yeah, that third barracks is 37 HP. It's not even up yet.
Well, happy Castle Age there to both players. Triple stable coming in for DauT. He's got Bloodlines +1/+1. Going to pick up Light Cav as he already has 7 scouts left over. Totally worth it. Generally speaking, if you have like 5-ish full HP scouts, it's probably worth it to grab the Light Cav upgrade. It's usually the breaking point.
And even Light Cav can take good fights against Eagles, especially in early Castle Age.
Yeah.
Before that Eagle Warrior upgrade comes in.
I mean, there's only 2 Eagles anyway. Oh, even the Komodo Dragon getting in on the action. Got that last hit. Isn't it pronounced Vivi? I mean, it doesn't really matter. I don't think there is a correct way to pronounce it.
You'll have to ask him.
Yeah. I think T90 says Vivi, but are we really going to look to T90 for pronunciation correctness? I have no idea. Pole's Light Cav. Pole Light Cav isn't cheap, but you do have a very good food eco with which to make it.
Yeah, it's just the Schlachta Privileged Knights that would have the discount.
And that's a gold discount, not a food discount.
Ooh, at home, Vivi's getting raided. Those knights on the gold line. There's not enough space to garrison in the tower.
Yeah, this is looking pretty grim, to say the least, for our Chinese player in game number 1. He's already down 1,000 score. He's trying to mix in these pikemen, but he's just so far behind economically. DauT's cruising on 3 TCs. He's got so much space with which we're going to even a 4th TC.
Yeah, and at this point, no forward monastery to deal with the knights either. So this is just going to get cleaned up.
This is looking like a DauT victory here in game number 1. So going to be a great start to this series for the Lord. And yeah, 4th TC there. Going to just further solidify DauT's advantage. Even picking up Heavy Plow just to better have that Folwark farming eco. But it's Vivi. He's not going to resign very quickly whatsoever. That's just not in his spirit.
Yeah, that TC going up even could be a garrison and a kill on some pikemen.
Oh, actually gets the conversion on the knight and is able to hop back into the tower. It's a cute move there for Vivi that is not likely to matter whatsoever in the long run. Unless we're playing, like, secret sudden death where you're allowed to build more TCs, where the Watchtower eventually kills DauT starting TC and DauT gets the surprise loss. I don't think this is really going to be going against him anytime soon.
Watchtower killing his starting TC. That's going to take a lot of arrows.
Yes, it will. And, I mean, it's a little bit of annoyance there by Vivi onto the eco of DauT. DauT, honestly, if he was playing a little bit safer, would probably rush up a castle faster. But he's almost there anyway. He just needs to, like, buy 100 stone, drop a castle, like, right near one of his TCs on the outside. And then, like, even just a few Obuki would completely shut down any of the pikemen Eagle Warrior raid shenanigans.
I mean, that is a lot of pikemen there. But that castle... Do you think the tower is going to deny the castle, Ornlu?
You see, I was thinking that DauT would place the tower on the or the castle on the outside to keep the villagers a bit more safe, but I guess this works too. He really wants this tower gone.
Yeah, he'll clear the tower, and he'll also clear the 2 barracks with it eventually.
Sure.
And the blacksmith too. He'll say, "I will have a 2-0 blacksmith advantage, and that will win me the game."
Easy for DauT right there. I mean, the thing with this castle, though, is it doesn't protect these vills, which is the only reason I was a little concerned for it, and why I thought the castle would either be right here, or I think even better, like, right here. Because now...
Now, Vivi gonna continue with the Trush.
Like, this area from DauT, his starting enclosure, that wasn't going to get pressured anyway. This is the area that you need to worry about. And now we have some slingers coming out from the forward archery range. Is it too late or too early? Too late, too early to say this is GG?
No, Arlen, DauT's gonna win this. He has another eco over on the right.
I mean...
Like, Vivi is idling one of DauT's 3 economies right now.
I mean, yeah, but does this exactly inspire confidence in DauT closing out a game?
Honestly, rather than Obuk, I think he just needs Schlachta privilege, and he'll overwhelm the pikemen with knight numbers.
Well, it doesn't really have the best eco balance for that.
You don't need a balanced eco for that.
Well, you need food still. Vivi adds in another TC at home. There are a couple knights here, but the monk decides to not be lazy. It can go ahead and convert the knight. If the monk decides to not be lazy, it can go ahead and convert the knight. And there's Schlachta.
Yeah, there he goes. And he still has a safe gold out by that TC on the right. That pikeman really can't raid under the TC.
Not
So he's in a decent spot.
Yeah. Trying to make the game more interesting, guys, and not like it was over since mid-feudal age.
And look at all those stables he's adding in. Another 3 stables at the south, and he's just going to pump those knights.
Going to be up on 5 total stables. Actually, no, 6 total stables very soon.
And he's going to go the very, very successful unit composition of knight versus pikeman in the Castle Age.
I hear that's what all the cool kids do. But, I mean, the knights are even decently upgraded with +1/+1 husbandry and bloodline, so that is perfectly fine as far as it goes. I mean, Vivi is very rapidly running out of any semblance of a win condition now. Was that 7,000 resources behind?
That's a lot of resources for mid-Castle Age.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
He is in a rough spot. 109 vills to 58. Knights fighting the pikemen.
Knights countering the pikemen, as we all know. Well, Vivi's one advantage he had was more military units, and that advantage is now completely gone. And there's the GG called.
GG.
DauT will take game number 1, just completely shutting down the forward. Great, you know, he stalled himself long enough until he could get to Scout plus Skirmisher, and there's just no way you can take that fight with just Spearmen and Skirmishers. The Spearmen will never get to poke the Scouts. All right, guys, here we go.
I mean, I've literally been casting on this channel. This is my 2nd day, and I'm at 4.2k. I'm getting close to it.
Wait a minute. I don't have any bits. What the heck?
No, not bits. It's channel points.
Oh,
You don't get them from casting, Ornu. You gotta have the channel open.
oh, well, I have chat open. Does that not count?
Ornu getting scammed out of a free jersey.
Jeez. I have 300 gems, and I've spent a total of 13 hours casting on this channel in the last 2 days.
Poor Ornu.
Oh, no. Tragic. All right, guys, here we are. Game number 2. It will feature DauT winning the first one. He's going to be the blue Lithuanians to the northwest of Arabia and to the southeast in the red as the Portuguese. It will be Vivi. Key West, walk me through this matchup.
Well, lots of different ways you could play the Portuguese. Vivi's the type of player who might just be crazy enough to go for some type of fast castle organ guns. But typically, you can do anything with them. You can go scouts, you can go archers. They just have a great eco for it. They'll get a bit of wood from those berries. And then have that gold discount. You can go for that double gold composition of crossbow plus knight pretty easily if you want to. And, well, lots of options for gunpowder in the late game, too. Maybe a bit of a weakness to the winged hussars. But I think probably overall one of the best Arabia saves there is now. Just a really smooth eco and great army composition choices.
It feels like these days, you know, it doesn't really matter what map or game mode it is. Portuguese are going to be one of the very best civs. They have the Forge Bush eco bonus, so they have a very smooth Dark Age on land maps. You have the gold discount, which isn't really an eco bonus, but it applies to so many different units that gives you a ton of options. And yeah, I mean, it just feels like they're so good. They also have a great unique unit. Lithuanians, they feel a lot more conditional. Like, their ceiling is higher than Portuguese with the cavalry with all the relics, but you obviously need those relics. Now, Lithuanians starting with an extra 100 food, getting 100 more with each TC. They are a civ that can snowball an early advantage, but this still feels like a situation where DauT does need that early advantage.
Yep, and on this map, the relics are relatively evenly spaced out. We'll have one directly in the middle, and then kind of this X shape of one in the top, one in the bottom, and then two somewhat on the sides.
Indeed. Both players clicking up on the same population. Both grabbed Loom. So, yeah, just 19 pop up with Loom before both players. It could just be for a Spearman plus Skirmisher opening, but it's probably going to be Scout plus Scout. For the main event, they're going to have the map name on the overlay, guys, but just they weren't able to get that to me in time for the qualifiers.
Yeah. I don't think anyone will be surprised to figure out that this map is called Arabia.
Oh. Well, the most important thing is that I see it in my overlay, because, I see regular capture age. I don't see everything that this has here. And right where my cursor is circling, that's where I see the map. So really, that's all that matters.
Oh, that's true. It is dry Arabia, I guess. No ponds.
No, it's Vubly Green
Like,
Arabia with all your resources 10 inches from your TCs.
Yeah, Green Arabia never had the ponds, though.
No.
It'll be like Arabia Verde version 2. Something like that.
Exactly. All right, guys.
So Vivi's up to feudal and immediately throws down a stable. DauT will do the same. So classic Arabia Scouts War.
Indeed it is. Very similar for both players. Bidax, yeah, okay. A few seconds faster here for Vivi. We'll have to see if either can go ahead and pick up the horse collar upgrade. That's going to be really important to in developing that farming eco that is just so important when you're going for scouts. Beyond that, though, Lithuanians have the faster moving spearmen, so, maybe a slight advantage as far as that goes. And, of course, walling up behind it.
Yep, and both players feels like they both have pretty wallable maps if they just go in a bit of a circle. It's one of those 4 woodline Arabias.
And I think they're always the 4 woodline Arabias in this version.
Oh, are they? Interesting.
Basically just play connect the dots with the forests there. And the question isn't really like, I don't think who's going to be getting a ton of damage done here. That seems a little unlikely. It's going to be, I think, about who makes that transition, right? Who's going to drop the archer range? Who's going to try and squeeze out a quick castle age time? Who's going to add a second stable if they're feeling wild? We'll have to see who exactly is going to be going for that, but neither player able to pick up horse collar.
Yeah, skipping horse collar is something that I'm seeing more and more in the Scout Wars these days. It just lets you get a couple extra spears out early on.
Yeah, there's spearmen nearby. Remember, guys, it is 3 scouts to comfortably kill a spearman. And even with the extra movement speed, the rest scouts are obviously still a fair bit faster. Does this feel greedy to you from Vivi?
He's going after a Vil, but getting poked a lot by the spear. He gets the Vil, so maybe it's worth it.
I mean, I guess he didn't lose a scout in the process, so it's hard to argue against that. So well done there. And so far, just a very slight early lead here for Vivi, but it looks like he's going to lose one of his scouts anyway.
And he's going to go for that very quick archery range transition. As he's going up to gold, so it looks like he's just going to start going archers. So we see Scout Skirm a lot these days, but this looks like it'll be more of a old school Scout plus Archer.
Oh, yeah.
Although on a very small number of farms.
The players swap colors. We'll make DauT red again in VV blue. That's my bad.
Oh, you're right. They did.
Okay, Archer's indeed coming in, so like I was saying, it's just who's going to make that transition first, and that person in this case is going to be Vivi. Getting the Archers out, and I mean, developing towards Scout Archers is going to be, in general, your best Feudal Age army composition, but DauT is just more focused on the food units. He's got more Vils on that resource right now than his opponent, getting those farms down, and is likely going to be adding in some of those speedy Lithuanian skirmishers.
Lithuanians do have Cav Archers, yes, they do. I mean, so do Portuguese. What if this just becomes scouts into archers into cav archers?
I will be sad. No,
As well
honestly,
just play
Portuguese do have
Huns
the
then.
discount on their CA, so they're actually not terrible CA save in mid game, but you miss heavy cav archer in late game. Lithuanians have everything except Parthian tactics, so they can now also go CA as well, but probably going to be focused more on the melee cav. Is this a hole? Might be. Good catch.
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't think there's a tree behind it. I can't select anything.
Yep. All right, so fletching coming in now here for Vivi. It is not yet in for DauT, who is indeed massing up those skirmishers. Gold over there. And this is it's going to be tricky here for DauT. I mean, the skirmishers are going to be a big help. Basically, what he wants to do is use the skirms to dive bomb the spearmen and then archers, and then the scouts theoretically clean up everything else.
Yeah, and we are seeing that scout skirm versus scout archer difference, where if you have a really small number of scouts, it kind of feels more like you're just fighting skirm versus archer, at which point you're kind of ignoring the scouts and just diving them with the skirm, tanking some damage and going for the archers.
And we'll have to see how this fight is going to unfold. So far, Vivi just backing up for now. More scouts and more archers on the way, though, so continuing to produce military. DauT, meanwhile... I mean, I guess he's also making army, and he has 2 food units, so that could delay his castle age a little bit, as Vivi himself is actually already on 14 farms, so his food eco is fine.
Yeah, both of them on good farm numbers. DauT's on 14 as well.
Ooh, even picking up the forging, so even more commitment to the feudal age for Vivi.
Yeah, and we have seen this from Vivi in the past, where he'll go very heavy into feudal, but usually it's with double stable scouts if he's committing that hard.
Yeah, I think it's just Vivi not the most confident in his micro against the top level players when it comes to like archers, but against DauT, maybe Vivi feels like he can make it happen.
Why didn't he hunt Vivi down there? Because if you're gonna take the fight, you need your scouts and your skirms together. And if you're trying to hunt them down, you're basically chasing with your scouts and taking a fight with only half your army. It's tricky to get a really good jump if your enemy's running away there.
It's hard to actually force that fight. Meanwhile, Wheelbarrow is coming in now for DauT, so that's going to help his farming eco. That house is taking a fair bit of damage. You do have to be careful there as Vivi, but same exact thing on the other side as that gate is under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and with the archers there, this is the strength of the archers. You can stop the Vils from rewalling and repairing that gate, and he's going to go for the market, but not in time.
That is unfortunate. And now DauT's going to start to lose some villagers, guys. Uh-oh. DauT's going to try and rush up a defensive watchtower. There is one spearman there, but it is going to get immediately sniped. Remember, forging is in, and that really helped Vivi get the buildings down just in the nick of time. And this is not what DauT's looking for, as Vivi has been able to defend successfully at home on the flip side.
Oh, the DauT tower. That is a DauT tower. And the scout archer paying off here. And in a straight up fight, the archers lose to the skirms, but against everything else, the gate, the Vils, enemy scouts, they're more effective. And DauT is now in a world of hurt here as he doesn't have any gold access.
Getting a couple kills. Just one kill right there. But the archer blob is still quite nice out with a lot of idling. And it's just, you know, there was a much weaker area that Vivi was attacking. It was a gate. It was far away from any villagers, and just having that forging allowed the gate to go down in time to scoot Vivi in, and suddenly DauT is just in an absolute world of hurt.
Yeah, the palisade gate, such a weak spot in the walls. I mean, it might even be worth it, just long distance mine some stone into a stone gate if you really want that gate so you don't have to delete your walls. But that was rough for DauT, and Vivi now up by 7 Vils.
Yeah, he's going to click up the castle age, not really investing into any more scouts at this point. His army is eventually going to get cleaned up, so it's really going to be down to DauT to make an enormous counterattack happen, and that's going to be difficult to do as Vivi himself is fully walled.
Yeah,
but he's still cleaning up
with
everything.
mostly skirms, can't really break through those walls the way Vivi just did.
Yeah, there aren't even that many scouts as a part of this army composition anymore for DauT, and he's even... Okay, so I think he stopped scout production. Gonna maybe try and click up to castle age, but naturally this is a big advantage for Vivi, who is actually adding in a second archer range.
Yeah, like we said at the start, can go crossbow, can go knight, and it's going to be opting for the double range crossbow production.
Are you sure about that? Because I don't see any more
Or he could
archers
be going
trained.
to cav archers. He could just be going cav archers.
Oh boy. I mean, the thing with going for that, though, is that DauT is pretty well set up as Lithuanians to go for a lot of skirmishers. But Vivi likes his cav archers a lot. Feels very comfortable with them.
And cav archers do kind of counter the more knight line, which is more the power unit from the Lithuanians.
That is true, and DauT clicks up to Castle Age probably as soon as a villager is done. That is, of course, the case. Second stable here for the Lord, but he is just in such an awkward position. I'm a little surprised that it's 18 farms for Vivi if he's going for that more CA-heavy approach, but I guess you're just making a lot more scouts in Feudal Age than you did in, like, traditional Hun Wars into triple-range CA.
Yeah, and also he didn't really use the market as much as he did last game, just buying 200 food, selling 200 wood. So the farms kind of helped him get up there.
Yep. Well, remember, guys, Portuguese fully upgraded cav archers in Castle Age with a 20% gold discount, so that's, what, 16 gold off? Not bad per unit.
And there he goes, but as you said, don't really like doing them directly against skirms right away. Knight coming out for DauT. And since it's only feudal skirms, DauT doesn't even need armor on the knight to engage them.
Yep. Only able to do 3 damage, and the knights have a base 2 pierce armor. Gotta be a little bit careful. Nice job sniping the spearman for Vivi, but there is still another one, so you can't take that complete engagement just yet. And DauT's maybe getting a little bit closer to Castle Age. He's even more spearmen coming in. Isn't focused that much on the scouts, and even the 1 damage adds up over time, I suppose.
Well, if you do 1 damage enough, eventually you'll whittle down HP. We've all attacked castles with skirmishers before.
Oh, yeah. And I think we've all attacked castles with Britain longbowmen. And more knights and cav archers both on the way for Vivi. So 1 TC for him. Remember, of course, he added in the defensive watchtower. So it is going to be for a pretty aggressive approach, all things considered.
Yep, and DauT still with weak spots in the walls, only palisades. And we'll see if Vivi's able to get in before DauT can catch him with the skirms, and I think he is. He can go in and just try to pick vills now. Some vills very exposed out by that mill. Some Joan of Arc 2-styled farmers out there.
It's always the vills that are right next to the farm, T-West. It's always a feels bad man moment as more vills are going to die. Now, you could certainly make the argument that, okay, Vivi's going to be sacking his army here, most likely. I guess he might be able to squeeze out a few units, but he's probably going to be losing most of his units. But he's just causing so much economic disruption. I think we have to think that this is worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, DauT's army is back home defending. He's not forward to pressure Vivi at all.
Are you sure about that? I see several vills
I mean, he's
going down.
a couple of feudal scouts.
I mean, yeah.
He'll lose 2 or 3 vills. That's about it.
Oh,
we look for the 10 to 2 eco KD.
Second TC for DauT. I mean, he's down 11 villagers. Is going to be a little bit behind in eco upgrades as soon as Wheelbarrow finishes, as both, of course, very helpful to have. And even having those extra cav archers scooch out. The knight is like, none shall pass. And then the cav archers just walk around.
One innocent-looking archer there just hiding in the wood line. Ready for that Beretta-styled ambush.
The, 4 or 5 archers pop out of the trees. Right? I mean, the knights actually have +1/+1 bloodlines and husbandry from Feudal Age. I mean, you just need to pick up husbandry for Castle Age. So, I mean, they're decently upgraded knights, all things considered. So, I mean, yeah, I think this is still a pretty good army for Vivi. It's just, you know, he doesn't have that second TC, so I'm a little bit worried for him if he's not continuing to really hammer home the pressure.
Yeah, true, but he is still up by 10 vills.
Yep.
It is still a 13 to 2 KD. And I think he's still in a really good spot. And most importantly, he's getting the cav archer numbers up without losing too many. He's around 14 now, so he's starting to get close to that mass you need to be able to take really good fights against knights.
Very true. One more Vill going down as we have DauT with his Night Skirm counterattack. Now, generally speaking, Night Skirm is an excellent army composition in this sort of situation, especially for a civ like Lithuanians. The issue is that if you don't have the eco for it, because of course Knights and Skirmishers are very food intensive, you also want to be adding in villagers, and Lithuanians aren't like a super eco civ to begin with. So it's still a pretty tricky situation. Also, we really have to consider that Vivi's doing a great job asserting map control in a world where, he's denying Lithuanians relics, at least for now.
Yeah, the extra speed on the skirms actually does a great job of keeping them safe from the knights.
Yeah.
Just lets you retreat to the safety of your own knights a bit more quickly.
It's just a really handy bonus to have. Like, it's one that you can really feel every time you use it. Oh, but here we go. Owie.
And not even trying to jump the skirms and take advantage of that min range they have. Or maybe trying to jump DauT skirms there.
Yeah, we knew what you meant. We knew it. Okay, the first monk is out here for DauT, but this is looking more and more difficult. University's on the way for Vivi. He's getting Thumbring for his CA. They're going to be just getting better and better upgraded. Yeah, we have relics starting to come in here for DauT, but it's going to be difficult at this stage.
He has the monastery. And it's a good thing he got that relic out to the side, because that would have been pretty close between the two of them and hard to grab later. Wait, why is he garrisoning the monk in the TC with the relic? He could have put it in the monastery.
No. Interesting.
Well, I guess he wants to keep the monk alive for later, maybe.
Well, Vivi storming in here. He's getting chain barding armor and ballistics, all 1 TC aggression. This isn't usually how we see most people play Arabia these days, but it's Vivi, man. He likes his aggression, likes to be the one who's dictating the pace of the game. He also likes his fast units. And DauT, well, he feels a little dead in the water.
And I'm sure he likes this 20 to 3 eco unit KD.
Oh, yeah. Vils might try and quick wall on the side, but it's DauT, and I don't think it would matter that much anyway. Now,
DauT on 4 TC. And
yeah, DauT's on 4 TC.
He's only down by 8 Vils.
The one thing is Vivi can't really destroy buildings quickly, and that's what the Forward Siege Workshops comes in. Monk's going to go for some conversions unsuccessfully. DauT does not have +2 defense for his skirms, which is really helpful against the CA, and this still feels it's pretty grim, to say the least, for DauT.
Yeah, and here Vivi just needs to add in a ram and start going to protect it near those stables.
And of course,
Here's
Vivi
if he goes for the ram or tries for a mangonel.
honestly, I think the ram is fine. Like, what's going to kill the ram?
Yeah, like he has the army control here. I think the ram is safe.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, the 3 TCs behind this for Vivi, so I mean, he knows he has a huge lead. Just make sure you're playing safe. Don't overcommit to any all-in and then end up taking a bad fight. But yes, the Lord will need a miracle to try and come back in this one.
And well, maybe that miracle is a 5 TC boom.
If only Hill Forts was a Civ bonus.
Oh, it's 2 relics now.
I like how Vivi's still being very active with his units, though. The TC is going to go up. Maybe one bill is going to die for that. Oh, not even. Be completely neutralized.
Monastery.
I mean, I guess just take the relics away from your opponent. Why not? Redemption coming in on the monks. This is one of the reasons I preferred the rams rather to the mangonels, is that it's much harder for the monks to convert them.
Yeah, monks do need to be adjacent to rams and have redemption. They can't convert them from range like the mangonels.
Indeed. Also, I love, again, Vivi still being very active with his units, trying to cause idle time, getting a 4 more Vil kills. He's still hanging around with the knights at the back, and this has been a very well-executed game from Vivi. Been smart play, able to get in and do the damage, defend himself at home, and really to snowball that lead into Castle Age. defending against DauT's counterattack. And I mean, this is looking like a tied series.
It is. Vivi also having eco behind this, so he's up by over 20, 25 Vils. And now he's ramming away at DauT's eco, about to take the relics out of that monastery. 37-3 eco KD.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad here for DauT. Still doesn't even have +2 defense. But I switched the color between the players because they were these two colors in the last game, and you try and keep things consistent for clarity's sake.
And we'll pay attention to that from now on. We'll keep DauT in the red and Vivi in the blue.
Yeah, so, sorry. I recognized that when they were in the lobby, but then I forgot about it when the game started.
Yeah. If they swap hosts, then they swap color, if they don't choose.
Mm-hmm.
So GG there. Cav Archers. Exactly what you need to beat DauT, I guess. But the real key was just that moment when they were both attacking each other. DauT was trying to go through houses. Vivi went through a palisade gate, and the gate is just so much weaker.
Indeed. I mean, Vivi could have probably taken that game in any number of directions in Castle Age. The Cav Archer route, though, was the one that proved to be most effective, especially with the Knight support as well. Again, it's that double gold army composition that Portuguese can do so effectively, getting just so many discounts on those units. Alrighty, guys, here we are, game number 3. And yeah, Malians here for Vivi to the southwest of the map on Copenhagen, and to the northeast in the red as the Italians that will beat out. We see Italians on this map all the time. Very good save. Is that a double dock for DauT? Oh, that's a cool little build.
Ooh, immediate double dock.
Yeah, that's cool. Love that. But yeah, I want to ask you, TUS, what do you think about the Malians pick here from Vivi?
Well, I mean, you have a good unique unit in the Gabetto from the castle, and you have a good water build with the ship discount. I just feel like late game, I think I'd much prefer Italians here. Genbo to deal with any Farimba nonsense, and then just Italians dominate on the water.
I mean, it feels like unless they're facing Vietnamese, Italians are just so good on this map versus almost every civ. It's like it's made for them, right? The cheap age up is useful. All the dock discounts are useful. Your unique unit's fantastic. And it could be a little bit tricky.
DauT deleted 2 holes in front of his castle so that like the units could garrison and ungarrison, but he also deleted them not in front of the castle, but to the side of the castle, so now there's a hole in his walls.
We do see that, actually. We saw Vinch and MBL do that, I think, in the last set, or at least one of the two of them. It seems a little weird to me. I would have done it just in front of the castle, but, well, these guys are better than we are.
Yeah. Also, something to note about this map, the blue castle is a tile away from the walls, whereas the red castle is adjacent to it. I don't know if that makes a big difference, but when you have that little slot, I think it affects whether you can garrison over the wall or not in some situations.
Yes, that should be the case. Also, notably, guys, much faster uptime here for Vivi. That is something you can do with Malians for sure. You have the better gold miners, the wood discount on all of your non-farm buildings. And yes, that includes wonders. Malian wonders are 150 wood cheaper.
I don't think we're going to see a wonder, though.
Not with that attitude.
Well, Vivi up to feudal. He is up first, so a very fast uptime, even faster than the Italians. But DauT did manage to go up with 5 fishing ships. And we'll have double docks for galleys to defend himself. Vivi going for the galleys, of course, when you're so far apart, but only on 2 fishing ships.
Yeah, so Vivi definitely needs to make something happen here. This is a map that I would heavily favor DauT on anyway. I mean, it's a fortress-style map. DauT, of course, been around since the days of dinosaurs, and Fortress Regicide has just always been a part of the AoE competitive scene.
Yeah, DauT's been around since the days when Fortress had water on it.
Yep. One player got their own private ocean, and the other person got nothing. Does the cheaper Wonder give Malians the edge in Wonder Race? Chimera or Malay are still the best Wonder Race civs.
Okay, DauT trying to get his galleys out, but he might not be in time to save his first fishing ships if Vivi can get 1 or 2 down rather quickly.
Yeah, and of course, remember, it is just 6 shots from the galleys to kill the fishing ships, and the galleys are a lot faster. Saw that really cool build yesterday from Andy to go for the galleys to snipe fishing ships like that. I mean, it didn't work, but it was still a cool build. And you can see a similar-ish principle here because it's going to be the fire galleys as a follow-up. And what do you think about this? Not going for pure galleys.
Ooh. When you're this far apart, it doesn't really make sense to me. But I guess what you're hoping is that there's going to be a timing where you're up so fast and fighting that the fire galleys get in before fletching does. And honestly, it looks like it's going to work for Vivi. DauT would need a blacksmith and the fletching really to get full advantage of being on the galleys.
Man,
now
look
he's
at this.
forced to defend with the fishing ships.
Like, homie's getting cornered here. And, I mean, normally I would say that you can scooch and shoot around a lot on this map, but you know what? Credit to Vivi, he's looking like he's making this work here. DauT not even getting the first galley killed there. So now you can sort of use the fire galleys to zone your opponent while you go and snipe even more fishing ships. I mean, look at this here from Vivi.
That's really well done. You just had such a big uptiming advantage that
Yeah.
he was able to pump the fires out. Yeah, if you were up at the same time, I don't think the fires work. But since you have that timing advantage, now you can get there and get the galleys.
Yeah, I mean, I just love this approach here from Vivi. It's like we've seen galleys into fire galleys before. It's not like this is completely revolutionary, but on this map, with this build specifically, I've never seen this before. And you can see that if you time it just right and you have the proper execution, it can do a lot of work. Now you can see DauT's been making fire ships himself, and that already feels like a bit of a him conceding a bit. Look at that 10 kills to 1 death.
And you get the feeling that DauT just was not prepared for that uptime.
Well, we were wondering why Malians? There's why Malians is, oh, look at this. Vivi sending all of the damaged ships home. There is still one fishing ship working, actually, so cute little move there from DauT, but this is going to be a lot trickier than I think you'd want.
Yeah, DauT can start moving down to the south, have to run into a wolf or so on the way to that lake.
I think
But
a
the key
wolf
for DauT
always
is that-
spawns on this map.
Yes, I think there's always going to be one wolf for each player. We see it in the same location there
Yeah.
on Vivi's side. But, yeah, the thing is, DauT, it's an 11-to-1 KD because he invested into the fires. He invested so much into that water control but got nothing out of it. And that's going to be reflected in the score difference there.
Indeed, the repairs are coming in on the damaged ships, like I was saying. Now we have more fishing ships on the way for Vivi. DauT is going to be coming in, though, with the villagers faster on the other pond. And, of course, this is a pond that's, like, it's not as important to control early on, but once you hit Castle Age, you really want to be able to scoop up those 3 relics. And DauT with the 2 docks over here still might end up okay as far as all that's considered. And he's still ahead in the resources collected. So although it's not a great start, it's certainly not one you would choose. It's not really, GG or anything close to that for DauT.
Yeah, and DauT will be adding in a galley there. That's a low HP scout, so the Vil could even kill it if DauT's paying attention.
Isn't
If
enough
DauT's paying attention.
Enough demo hit there, and...
Oh, he right-clicked the fish. He right-clicked the fish by accident. Oh, DauT.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely quite unfortunate. More ships are going down over here. DauT, I mean, technically is getting closer in the KD, but it still isn't going to feel all that great. Vivi actually, I think, had the misgather point on the fishing ships, ended up going to the front lines. Not really what you're looking for. The dock number 2 is going to finish for DauT, and he's still going to have an advantage here on this eastern body of water. But again, it is just not the sort of game DauT likes to play. Like, what Vivi was able to do versus Sito was sort of force the game on his own terms. And although DauT's definitely better than Sito in scrappy games, it's still where Vivi reigns supreme.
This map is Copenhagen, yes. And Vivi gonna try to double dock the south, but DauT has a galley out there that could hit one of those weak Vils. DauT did somehow manage to keep his low HP Vil alive. And we'll be adding in the fires down here. And here in this one, you definitely do want the fires with how close the distance is.
Yeah, you just don't really have the space that you're looking for to go for the galley micro. The galley you make just to try and deny the docks, but unfortunately for the DauTster, just wasn't quite able to do that. And looks like
this map was Pants. I mean, this is honestly a very similar shape on the minimap to Pants.
Yeah.
But it is a different map.
It's Regicide Pants, except instead of having a high ground area, it's water.
Regicide Pants. That's how the king runs so fast. It's all in the running shorts he wears.
Exactly. Let's see. Castle Age is on the way for both players. A little bit of an edge here for Vivi. But DauT is climbing his way back on the water. It is 9 army to 4. DauT slowly fighting his way back in the KD, so DauT certainly down but not out as far as that goes, and he is still ahead in resources collected. He's actually ahead in resources collected by a lot, so it seems like Vivi, despite taking good fights, isn't really getting as much out of it as he needs to.
Yeah, and he went up so fast, he only had 2 fishing ships there. If you're going to lose your fish, as any civ, Italians with the cheaper fishing ships are probably the one to do it.
It is slightly less bad, for sure. Not a great demo hit either there for Vivi. He's able to still save that Vil on 2 HP, which is something, I suppose. And he's still trying to fight back here on both sides of the water.
That really could use a good demo there.
That didn't feel like a good enough demo. War Galley, I mean, normally, like, 10 seconds difference on a tech that you're both researching doesn't matter, but if you're literally in the middle of a fight, maybe that matters as you're almost at War Galley here, and boom! Is this going to be enough of an advantage to turn the tide in an otherwise pretty even fight? It looks like Vivi already had actually a bit of an advantage, but that, I think, might just further solidify it.
Yeah, in the south, though, DauT getting a couple of demos, but split up, basically each hit 1 fire ship. And now Vivi just has a lot of low HP fires down there, but so many that he's still controlling the water. Lots of low HP ships for Vivi, but still making it work.
3 villagers repairing. It looks like it is enough. Oh, nicely done there for the Doubtster. Fire ship had actually taken over 200 HP of damage. Yeah, still pretty nice here for Vivi. And second TC is also going to be coming in first for our blue player. Still pretty far behind in res collected, but just taking good fights, so he's also had more resources destroyed. And a monastery forward, Vivi looking to pick up those relics.
And forward, but not in the middle of the map. You have seen that a couple times where those monasteries right in the middle let you pick up the relics real fast, but if you leave them there, then you're at risk of losing them in that imp transition.
Yep. And, okay, the random spearman's going to die. Third TC in here for blue. Also, Vivi able to pick up the bowsaw upgrade. Oh, no doubt! Ends up losing the 2 villagers that were going to build that TC on this eastern wood line. There are a lot of resources over here in this eastern area, so that's why you see players almost always build TCs in this direction. But unfortunately for DauT, just didn't quite have those units on standby that he was looking for.
Yeah, also the timing was where he had to delete the foundation, because a couple of Gebeto actually would do melee damage and potentially kill it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's still mining stone, so it's not like he can't build another TC. But it's certainly ideal if the Gebetos are helping out versus the fire ships. Not something we see every day.
No, DauT's running Vils to build a house on the edge of the map, and he might just run into a wolf.
Well, I mean, he has Loom at this point, so I don't think it really matters that much, does it?
Okay, the Vils have HP. He'll be fine.
Yeah. That said, Vivi's well on his way to losing his fishing ships, as DauT is just doing an admirable job fighting back on the water. So
to be fair, though, he's already fished all of his fish.
Yo, dog, I heard you like fish, so I'm a fish in your fish while you fish. But it does mean DauT can go for his own fish boom, potentially uninterrupted. Also, Crouching Tiger, Hidden TC. Vivi's not going to see that one.
Yeah, but no resources near it. That first one was right between the wood, the deer, and the stone, and covering a relic in case monks went forward for it. This one is just, yeah, it's hidden. But hidden at the back of the wood line.
Still no ability to... Neither player can safely transport to the 3 relics here in sort of that neutral shallows spot. But on the land, Vivi is taking the opportunity here to pick up all these forward relics as he just, went with that forward monastery. He went for his unique unit. And, like, in low numbers with no upgrades, Gebettos are just a lot better than Genoese crossbowmen.
Yeah, they're just so fast. Even though the Genbos can get a bit of a range advantage when you start going down the fletching line, 1.25 speed for Gebettos, and you could even improve that with Squires.
Yeah, they are one of the fastest infantry units after Eagle Warriors and Wood Raiders. Elite Eagle Warriors, rather, than Wood Raiders.
Yep. I mean, you get Squires, and they actually move faster than Knights do without Husbandry.
Yep. 1.38 versus 1.35. Also, is it actually Vivi? Like,
That's how I've always said it.
Has he ever... Like, I have said Vivi for 6 years. Over 6 years now. And I don't know him ever saying it is pronounced Vivi.
I've always said Vivi. Well, let's face it, Ornley, though. We're Americans. We're never going to say anything right.
Yeah. Like, but has he said that?
I don't think Vivi has ever said the sentence, "It is Vivi," in his life.
Like, so I don't know why everyone's saying it so decisively one way or the other. Does it even matter?
Yeah, how does Yo say it? I guess Yo's the person to ask. He's the fat dragon.
He is the fat dragon.
It is not Voobly.
No, it's not Voobly. The Genbos have fletching now, so they at least match the range of the Gebettos.
And this is the situation where in the... Oh, we have a transport. We have a transport. Look at this.
Oh.
Gebetto's going to get inside that space. And the Genbos don't have that same speed or mobility to get back and defend that.
No,
so
they
see
don't.
if they can quick wall this.
And even the Gebettos help finish off the fire ship over there. Also preventing a fish boom here is quite relevant, as DauT's going to need to flee towards his TC. He might not lose that many villagers. In fact, he's not even lost any so far. But this is certainly annoying and causing, I mean, like, what, 20-ish villagers being idle right now. And that itself is a nice win here for Vivi. And no, this is the third map.
Yep, it is 1-1.
Yes.
And Vivi will be... I mean, the good thing about that space is all of his resources, other than that 1 gold, are covered. He has the towers along the walls. But oh, look at that big garrison from DauT. That feels like an overreaction now that he has the Genbos there.
Also, what this is doing is Vivi knows that DauT is back home with his army, right? I mean, literally, they're chasing him. So what he can do is he can take the opportunity to come out here in the middle of the map and secure these 2 neutral golds with the castle.
Yeah, and that castle is just going to, as he's on his way up to Imp, is going to put him in a great spot to engage in that Trebor. Usually, oh, he wants another forward castle. Oh,
I like this.
Wait, where's he? I mean, the first castle location we saw would have been great had he known the difference in the Imp timing, but it's really tricky to know that against the Italians.
Yeah, I mean, this is still...
He just wants something to protect his Trebs in a Trebor.
Yeah, it's still in a good spot, but while being a little bit safer. I don't think the Genbos are going to be able to deny that. Also, remember, DauT went with the 4 TCs, Vivi went with the 3, so going to be, faster Imp for blue. And I feel like this is going to set you up pretty well, because you don't really want to go late games against Italians as Malians, but if you could take the opportunity here to have a really strong Imp timing, that is definitely one way you can take a good fight and win the game.
And that castle will go up. And meanwhile, Vivi does have 4 relics. He collected all of the relics on land, even the one that was super far forward on DauT's side of the map. And he has now won the water in the south, clearing both of DauT's docks. So Vivi does have access to 7 relics. And he's looking to be in a really good spot. Oh, another forward castle.
Oh, now this is a castle that even John Slow would be proud of. Double Treb production coming in. Now, Vivi doesn't really have the army behind this. Like, he's not really teched into anything. These Gebettos just have +1/+1, no other upgrades, and you can't make Trebs, obviously, and Gebettos at the same time. So you really are looking to get a lot of damage done here and sort of keep DauT on the back foot. And DauT, you know, he still has a decent eco count, but he's behind in resources. And that is just because he's getting denied.
The Imp TC is going to be covered by that castle range.
Oh, no.
I think he gets Imp, but that's also the worst TC you could have put it in.
Yeah, I think this is going to be okay for DauT, but it's also sort of needlessly risky.
He doesn't have the ability to make Trebs yet. That castle's going to go down without much of a fight. And then the Trebs turn to the TCs. And 70% right now. 75.
I mean, unless the Trebs are specifically targeting that town center, it's not going to go down. I say that. It's still probably fine. Yeah, it's fine.
That's targeting the castle.
Still, I love the focus on the Trebs here. We've seen players pushes on this map.
Oh, now they're targeting the TC.
Yeah,
or they're targeting the TC.
It's too late. There's only one Treb that can range it. Fine.
95%.
Fine.
And he is Imp.
Again, needlessly risky, but it's going to come in.
He was 2 Treb shots away from losing the Imp.
Yes, he was,
and the king is in the tower. Remember, this is Regicide, and the Gebettos can destroy a tower and stop the king, and DauT's about to lose.
Also,
Vivi, remember, it's Regicide.
Yeah, I mean, you literally see it right here. I can hit my hotkeys. I don't think, though, you could probably get the castle downtime, but you are killing these crossbowmen before they're really getting their upgrades in. So, king sniping aside, this is a nice fight for Vivi.
Yep. And DauT on garrisoning the king and running. DauT is running.
Oh my goodness, I got a Steam notification from Boulder again. Fighting me too. It's like, hey, here we do. Regardless, guys. More and more Trebs incoming, and it's just going to be difficult to get enough archers out in time. The Mangonels are still here to help out as well.
So DauT finding another castle on a hill to put the king in, but his entire eco is now just going shambles. Mangonels on the crossbows.
Yeah, only
Another
having
castle
one
going
castle. You have a lot of eco over here. Got more of our Kapinga flingers on the way.
Oh, that train of villagers is all gonna die.
Oh no! The humanity! The brutality.
Also, a bombard cannon in that workshop will be picked off by Gebettos.
It's still alive for now, but this is obviously looking pretty darn rough for DauT. Oh no, the villager opened the gate! Traitor!
Oh no! Oh, even more vills will go down.
Nice little party
Cannon
shot
goes
there.
down. Oh, that's absolute disaster for DauT.
Also, all of his archery range infrastructure is over to the north, where it's completely cut off from his eco. DauT gonna tap out, and that, like I was saying earlier, guys, that's a huge win for Vivi, because this is DauT's #1 home map. And because he lost game #1, Vivi needs to go for the, he needs to win at least one of his opponent's home maps if he wants to win the set. So, really well done. Great executed build in the early game to just take the fight on water, have that more aggressive approach, pick up the relics in the mid game, and strike with that really strong early imp timing.
Yeah, that was just wonderfully done. Everything on that game from Vivi. And denying that one early TC really just let him get that super smooth eco transition and put him... You take small advantages from the fish and then from that transition, and all of a sudden you get that imp push.
Yeah, really, really well done for our Chinese player, Vivi. And we will be getting here into game #4, guys. All right. Here, up 2-1. It's Not match point yet. Remember, it's a best of 7. You'll have Vivi here in the blue as the Mongols to the north, and to the south in the red as the Khmer. It will be the Doubtster.
Khmer on African reed beds. Interesting.
Indeed. Okay. Are we going to see the early dock, right? Because these are two civs that like rushing up to the feudal age super quickly, going for that scout pressure. But the dock will slow that down no matter what we're going to be seeing. Like, no matter how quickly you want to click up to feudal age, the dock will slow it down a little bit.
Maybe the Khmer can get away with it a bit more just because they'll have all that extra wood they'll save from not needing the barracks.
Yeah, very true. But do you also want to get into a scout war without a barracks whatsoever? Because then it's just scout plus spearmen.
Maybe this map is better for it because of how far apart you are?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. And it looks like DauT is going to be building the dock to the south. He has 2 villagers going in that direction already. Meanwhile, Vivi is sending 1 vill to the north. So it looks like it is going to be a dock for both players. Nobody doing anything crazy like MBL with the barracks and the drush.
What is the story behind the name of the Copenhagen map? I have no idea. Is there anyone in the chat who lives in Copenhagen who can give us some insight?
Yeah.
As to how the map resembles the place?
No idea. All right, so second Rhino coming in here for DauT. And fishing ship's going to be on the way for him. And notably, DauT with maybe a little bit of a more streamlined build, getting the fishing ships out faster. He sent the 2 villagers to the south sooner. So I guess, he's going to be a little bit behind in resources collected in the short run. Maybe in like the medium run, it's going to be a little bit better. Also, it's Mongols, and they tend to be ahead in resources collected in the Dark Age no matter what.
Yeah, especially with that Rhino map. And also, this is surprisingly a very wallable map for the most part. We see Vivi already going for that with that house on the right side of that lumber camp. You can very easily get walls between these wood lines over to the edge. DauT may be a bit of a struggle, though. The front of his map is actually wide open.
Yeah, this is actually one of the worst fronts of a map I've ever seen on African reed beds here. But, I mean, I guess you can kind of like wall to the TC, but yeah, not really the prettiest map in the world for DauT. Now the scout's even going after the fishing ship, but there are the 2 vills there to both fight back against the scout and repair. And feudal age coming in. Of course, Vivi going to be up a little bit faster. Actually, almost a minute faster. No loom for him. That's one of the reasons why you send 2 vills over, by the way, is that the 2 vills can sort of cover each other even without loom. And it looks like it will probably just be for some scouts. And yeah, loom queued up right after feudal age. And for his part, DauT to lumber. Whoa, hold on. 17 vills on wood. What is he doing?
17 vills on wood. And not on gold, so it's not for archers.
Huh.
Maybe he thinks he has enough fishing ships that he doesn't need more vills on food, and he can just go for something crazy like... I don't even know what would be crazy with that many vills on wood. He's up really slow, too.
Yeah.
He's just going to do a market and fast castle? I mean, you don't want to do the market as Khmer, though. You just go up right away.
All right, I feel like we're going to be learning something with DauT's approach here, because neither you nor I seem to be able to make heads or tails of it. If anything, Vivi's the one who's already has 500 in the food in the bank towards Castle Age. He does have 4 fishing ships, only 1 to 3. But it's also a little bit weird, because Khmer are one of the civs you want to fish boom with the least, because that means you're not taking advantage of their amazing farming.
Well, there is the stable, and DauT just going to fully wall, committing a lot of villagers to these walls. Actually, 4 or 5 vills walling, while also doing that stable.
I mean, including the stable, that was 7 villagers. Building infrastructure at the front of his base. DauT is continuing to increase his fishing ship numbers, though. And it looks like, although they, are going about it in different ways, DauT and Vivi both going to just end up with some scouts and might even just want to take it to Castle Age as they are both getting themselves all walled up.
And I'm sure DauT has practiced this build and knows what he's doing, because we certainly are surprised by basically his entire eco on wood when he's going scouts. But it must just be with the fish. It must just be knowing that the fish will keep this running.
Yeah, he's got some idols right now, but everyone's back to work. You can add in the fish traps now that you're in Feudal Age, and yeah, it's just going to be a great boost to his economy. You can see that Vivi already behind in resources collected as Mongols, and yes, Khmer are going to surpass you sooner or later, but this is leaning much more on the side of sooner rather than later.
Yeah, DauT continued to add in more scouts, and also, notably, no palisade gates in his wall like he had in that Arabia game. He doesn't have that weak spot that cost him that earlier game.
Sorry, T-West, what were you saying?
Well, never. Well, that's defended by the TC.
Yeah,
right?
that's actually a perfectly fine location.
That's a safer palisade gate.
Yeah. Bill, if you're going for scouts as Chimera guys, it's always important, if you're going to skip the barracks, make sure you're fully walled at home. Or don't move out with your scouts until you're fully walled, because it can often be just, you go scouts, your opponent goes scouts plus spearmen, and then you just kind of lose that fight. Now, I don't think DauT's going to be able to find a whole lot of damage anyway, but you can at least skirt by with the knowledge that your eco is going to be a lot smoother.
And more fishing ships for DauT, and we're definitely going to see him invest into those fish traps. I like how he also took advantage of that Khmer farming bill after the fish were gone to make the farm down there by the dock. And he'll be in a good position to make more docks later on.
It looks ugly, but it's good. All right, got 3 vills on gold here for DauT. Still, Vivi doing a nice job taking all those extra zebra. As Mongols, you want to do that as much as possible. 6 fishing ships to 3, and chances are... Oh, actually, no, Bloodlines for DauT. So he's going to at least be committing a little bit here to Feudal Age.
And he's engaging in the fight just as Bloodlines is about to finish. A lion going for the spear there.
Yes, both players are walled. So that's why I'm a little surprised that DauT's investing into Bloodlines. That's either investing too much or not enough. Too much if you're trying to get to Castle Age at a good time, not enough if you're trying to apply pressure. And that is going to give Vivi a little bit of an advantage in that timing department.
Yeah, but DauT did clean all of Vivi's scouts, and now he has a lot of map control. So now if he wants to send a villager forward during this transition for a workshop or a monastery to apply pressure, he can.
Very true, very true. How does DauT have 4 villagers more? He does not have 4 villagers more. He has slightly less idle time for 1 more villager. He just has 8 fishing ships to 4.
Yeah, it's the fishing ship count there that really matters as he's starting to add in the fish traps. And well, maybe that's why he had 17 on wood earlier, so he'd have the wood to add in 7 fish traps. That's 700 wood right there.
Fair enough. And it looks like... Yeah, okay, so Vivi going to be clicking up a little bit faster, but nothing too significant. DauT able to still get a good enough food eco to get his way on up to Castle Age, but hold up. That's a lot of stone already being mined for our blue player.
And Vivi does love his unique unit builds, so looks like he's going to want Mangadai.
I think it's going to be interesting, right? Because Mangadai in general feel really good against Khmer. Khmer don't like dealing with Cav Archers, and especially Cav Archers that also can kill Scorpions. At the same time, it's really tough to get Mangadai going in the first place. They take a very long time to train, 26 seconds for a castle unit. And they also need a lot of upgrades, so this could be an opportunity for DauT to just sort of outproduce his opponent.
Ballista LAs count as siege, so Mangadai get a bonus against them if I recall.
That is correct. A little bit of an overchop here, actually, for DauT. But Vivi going to be able to go in. This map is the home map of DauT. The fishing ships are actually going to be under a little bit of pressure.
Oh, the scout, yeah. DauT has to send Vills there.
Yeah, that's actually really awkward. If we're to a point when, if we're seeing DauT go mass Scorpions, all Vivi needs to do is just add in some drill onagers. Yeah, cute little move there with the Scout Cavalry. Gets a bit of extra value. That said, Vivi going to be dropping the castle here, adding a TC, and yeah, he's just going to be going right to Mangudai. Doesn't feel like he's under any pressure from DauT, and he is very correct in thinking that, because DauT himself is just going to be going up to 3 TCs, and this was my concern, though, for Vivi, that he just falls too far behind economically.
And his castle's going to be very defensive at home, securing a gold and a stone. But not going to be able to pressure DauT right away with the Mangudai DauT. Despite not having a wood line at the front, we'll have the stone and a gold in the back. It'll be pretty well defended.
Indeed. We got Gill Nuts coming in for DauT, Bowsaw for both players, so all those upgrades are going to be very even. It's just, you know, really the only difference, or I guess the most important difference, rather, in this game is going to be those 5 extra fishing ships and the faster third TC. DauT going to be going on the stone, getting some bunks down, and I still definitely prefer his position.
I wouldn't be surprised to see DauT add more docks at this point.
But do you really want to be adding in more fish traps instead of Khmer farms?
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, it does give you essentially that extra TC. But, oh, what is Vivi doing with his army? He's just going to dive the TC.
Okay.
Lose a lot.
You know, remember, guys, camels, they get bonus damage versus the fishing ships. Same as bonuses they get versus other camels. Not how I anticipated this game to go, but sure.
DauT's repairing the fishing ships.
I think this was on everybody's bingo card today, to see the drush into double barracks from MBL, or the, like, 2 camel, 4 spearman raid into killing some fish. That's pretty cute. Forces a fire galley out, too. Chip bonus still exists? Yes, it does.
Yes, it's been refactored to no longer share the similarities with the camel bonus, but it is indeed still present. There are separate ship and fishing ship bonuses, so that flyers don't have the same bonus against fishing ships when they're just fire galleys.
Yeah, that's why that armor class was added. Anyway, Vivi going to be going here for the Mangudai, as of course we all expected. But of course, if you're going for your unique unit like this, it means that you're spending all that villager time mining stone, which is not mining more food and wood, which you need for booming. And DauT's going to be on 4 TCs before Vivi's on the 3, and he still has the 9 fishing ships.
And 4 TCs with Khmer is going to give you a really nice eco over time.
Oh yeah, definitely. DauT even going to be trying to scoop up some relics, but the Light Cav are only with Light Cav upgrade itself as well as Bloodlines, and this is where the Mangudai can start to be really, really scary. Mangudai used to be faster than Cav Archers, but then they got nerfed, so now they're only the same speed. Their base reload time is also slower, fun fact. 2.1 versus 2. But Mangudai benefit more from Thumb Ring than, in terms of reload time increase, than the regular Cav Archers do.
Yep, and you also always have that Mongol speed, or fire rate decrease, like the Mangudai, because they're that Cav Archer unit. So you never actually see the true slowness of their stats.
Yeah, 1.68 base. That monk had an ambitious conversion attempt there. So despite this being, you know, a traditionally very aggressive map, I mean, we're just kind of cruising right now. Both players adding an eco. Yes, the eco is a lot better for DauT, but at the same time, Vivi's developing a much stronger army composition.
And still monk defense from DauT, but that's tricky against the Mangudai. They can just run in and snipe off the monks as they do there. And nice micro from Vivi. Just gonna try to take out the light cav.
And very well done
I was
here.
chasing him from.
Yeah, well done for the blue player. Guess what? We could go right back to the fish traps, and you need to try and target
Oh,
the fish
double
trap.
blacksmith. He's doing it again. Double blacksmith.
Oh, interesting, interesting.
He just wants to upgrade his nightline really quickly.
But yeah, guys, remember, unless you're facing melee, target the fish traps. They're easier to snipe, 50 HP versus 60 and no armor. And they're more expensive than fishing ships, so it's actually better to prioritize them, and you can see that's exactly what Vivi's doing here.
Oh, there's the demo. Too late.
Yeah. That's a little awkward. Now, it is true that the Mangudai they're gonna Mangudai pretty soon, and that is gonna set Vivi back in terms of his army, as again, Mangudai are very slow to get going, and yet he's getting a lot of eco damage here. That's not coming in at the front for DauT is the fourth TC. No, Market coming in now for Vivi.
And he still has a few more Mangudai running around. And Vivi's a player who absolutely loves his unique units, as I said earlier. And he's just done a good amount of damage with them. But still DauT up 113 to 90 villagers.
Yeah, it just goes to show the eco advantage that DauT has had. I mean, 4,000 more resources collected, around 20%. Imp on the way, though. First, for blue. I mean, he's just spending fewer resources on villagers so he can bank up the food faster. As,
adding in workshops.
He's adding in siege workshops, so for those who wanted to see Mangudai versus Chimera Scorpions, today might be your lucky day. I've never seen Chimera Scorpions versus Mangudai post-patch, have you?
I have not. But I have a feeling that if you get enough Scorpions, they're going to do well against the Mangudai with their 8 range. I think the answer for Vivi is going to have to be Drill plus Onager, Siege Onager, which is very expensive to get to in a 1v1.
Very true. And I also like that DauT, as you can see here, guys, he's got Light Cav patrolling on each of the sort of gold hill areas. And that's going to be quite nice for him, making sure that he knows as soon as Vivi tries to go over to the side.
Yep. And as you mentioned in the patch, remember, Scorpions are now benefiting from ballistics, which Vivi does have, and that DauT does not have.
I'm sure he'll pick it up
Could
soon.
also go Drill Scorpion, but that probably loses to the extra range.
Extra range and double crossbow. I mean, Vivi's really trying to make this work, right? He is microing his little heart out, making sure that he is doing his best to stymie DauT's eco. I mean, DauT's eco is still insanely far ahead regardless, but it's one thing for DauT to be ahead by 20 villagers, and it's another for him to be ahead by 40 villagers. So, you take all the wins you can get.
Yeah, it is a 21-0 eco KD. And the Mangudai is still taking out the Scorps. In low numbers, the Mangudai are going to win against the Scorpions, no problem. Yeah. It's just what happens when you get heavy Scorpion with 8 range and 20 plus of them firing away at some Mangudai, doing all that pass-through damage.
And what I love here from Vivi is that he is controlling the middle area of the map. Got a castle securing the stone area. It is on cracked terrain, so you need to be careful. Takes 20% more damage. But getting that extra production and securing the resource you need for more Mangudai. More, I say.
Yeah, and so important for the Mangudai player to have those castles to pump them out. And as you said, the cracked terrain, and I think that castle is downhill from the outside if DauT's able to deploy some trebs.
Might depend on the angle, but it's always hard to tell in AoE, at least for me. Look at this. And of course, the Scorpions, even if they can do well once they're all masked up, the Mangudai are so much faster. They're literally over twice as fast. And I mean, this is a classic case of a Mangudai walking into a bar and finding that there is no place for drinks to be served.
There's no counter.
Indeed. Not to wall that? Well, hey, man. 1890. You know, let's not ask too much of our players. Scorpions are eventually going to get cleaned up. Or Mangudai getting cleaned up by the Scorpions. But again, it's just at what cost? The KD is absurdly in favor of Vivi right now. And it's going to help sort of mitigate the fact that he's behind in resources, right? Because he has so many more resources destroyed.
And yeah, the Mangudai finally getting caught by the Scorpions. And that heavy Scorpion upgrade decreased in cost a bit, but still pretty expensive.
Yeah, and it's food and wood, so unlike most Imperial Age unit upgrades, so that's going to be a little bit tricky now. At the same time, though, Vivi working towards Elite Mangudai, and there you go.
Alright, that's going to give him a better bonus against the Siege. And going to be crucial against all those Scorpions. On the Gold Hill on the left, that is just dirt, not cracked terrain. And DauT does have the hill advantage there. We also didn't mention this earlier, but there is the market in the west and then the market in the eastern corners. So yeah, you can trade if you want to. And if you don't get a decisive early game win, you might end up trading with the neutral market.
Have you ever seen that on this map? Because I have not.
I have not either. I'm not entirely sure why it's there, but it is.
Have to reseed farms and get the Scorpion upgrades out? Well, I mean, he still is needing a meat shield for the Scorpions, right? So he needs lots of farms for the Lycav, no? Unless I'm misunderstanding. Anyway, the Mangudai are fully operational. We have assembled all the pieces of Exodia, and it is going to be very difficult to deal with the Mangudai. And yes, like, you know, we were talking about, you get like 20 Scorpions against 40 Mangudai. Yeah, the Scorpions can just mow them down with full upgrades. But you get these
But you get Mangudai in a wood line, and
yeah,
they can
then
mow
it
down the
becomes a
mills.
lot more difficult. Man, look at me.
He needs to out micro ballistics now.
Oh, this is rough for
There's gonna
DauT.
be more vills down for DauT. It's a 42-7 KD. The villagers.
And DauT still has more vills.
But now Trebor on the left, but this is where things get difficult for DauT, as the Mangudai can run in, dive the castle, maybe tank some shots, but pick off 2 Trebs, no problem.
You're on 4 castles at this point as Vivi, so it feels like you can afford to lose a couple Mangudai if it means keeping your own castles alive and winning that Treb war, which is indeed exactly what's happening. Beautifully done here from our Mongols player. And this is just looking worse and worse for DauT. Despite, again, his enormous resource lead, he's just not getting any kills.
You just can't close the distance. The Scorpions never got to that huge heavy Scorpion mass he needed to do the job. Still doesn't have heavy Scorpion. And now there's nothing he can do to stop the Trebs from destroying that castle.
Yeah, it's looking more and more difficult. The upgrades are also a lot better here for Vivi. Again, full upgrades for the Mangudai. The Light Cav, they're missing 2 attack upgrades and Hussar. And the Scorpions are missing, well, every single upgrade except for Chemistry and Ballistics. So he's missing a Heavy Scorpion, Double Crossbow, and Siege Engineers. Yes, Mangudai have bonus damage versus Siege Elephants.
Yes, they do.
Siege Elephants and Ballista Elephants, both of them. Mary don't get Siege Elephants, they get Siege Ram.
Yeah, they were before the Elephant Ram days.
Mangudai, just one Mangudai there chilling on the high ground, going to be annoying to deal with. Of course, you're going to round out your Mongol army with Hussars, Mangudai Hussar, a composition as old as time itself.
As old as AOK itself.
Well, AOK's basically been around forever, so that checks out. Anyway, denying the gold there from DauT could be the killer. Yeah.
And okay, well, now Vivi has the Vill lead. He's going to have control of the middle, both extra golds, and importantly, both neutral markets if he ever does want to trade.
Still going to be a while off before that is the case, though. He just has so much gold he can take, guys. And Vivi, 1 game away, at least that's what it looks like here, from qualifying to his very first NAC.
Oh, you're right, chat. AOK no Hussar was Light Cav.
Yeah, it was.
As old as 2000 then. In AOC.
Your Mangudai also missed Parthian Tactics and Thumbring, so they were not anywhere near as good. Yeah, I mean, that's just struggling at this point, guys. Double crossbow coming in. You still don't have heavy scorpions, and the scorpion numbers have been heavily diminished anyway. And Vivi's just playing this so well. I mean, again, we think of Vivi, we think about aggression, smart play strategically, going for, unique units and those sorts of more out there builds. We don't normally think of just him and having amazing unit control. But this is, I mean, it's been less of a micro nerd play and more of a just taking really, really smart engagements.
Yeah, and also he does like his unique units, so it's not surprising to see him have success with playing Gadai.
His very first LAN? You're probably right. I certainly can't think of one he's been to. I don't think... Was he at any of the Nations Cups back in the day? Also, RR. Or maybe that's something in Cyrillic. I can't tell.
I think he mistyped the GG, and because R is close to that on most keyboards, right?
Yeah. Can't tell based off the font. But yeah, RR.
Vivi? I don't think he was at War is Coming and the LAN, and then the Nations Cup LAN, whatever, in Brazil, Finland, and China. The Chinese team didn't make it there.
GG and Cyrillic? Okay, that's what I thought. But yeah, honestly, this has just been really impressive play from Vivi. Remember, guys, Vivi beat Sito 3-1. He did not have a super easy ride here. And, I mean, 3.81 KD. I know you're using Mangadai. That's still insanely impressive. Alrighty, everybody. Here we are. Game number 5. After dropping the first one, it's been 3 in a row for our red player from China. It'll be the Vikings to the northwest. It's Vivi. And to the southeast in the blue, tournament life on the line. It is the Lord DauT himself. He didn't make it to Red Bull, and it would certainly not be great for him if he didn't make this one either. He really wants to be here. I mean, again, he was at Red Bull anyway, but still.
Yeah, this is Atoll, and this version of the map, the middle is pretty wide and covers most of the map, but it's very narrow, giving us more space for the two players to have their own islands. And I love how bright and tropical it feels. It makes me happy. It feels like it's sunny despite it being the end of fall here.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a main gold and a main stone on your starting island, but the rest of the golds are in the middle and on this particular map, all on one side of the middle, pretty much. So if you control that area, even if you lose the water, you still have the gold to hold on. Not much wood on the map either. So it's really important to make sure that you get a good starting position and take control of the water and then get to the middle. Kind of like migration, but there are shallows connecting your island to the middle, and the middle's a bit smaller.
Yeah. And thanks for reminding me of the player colors. Yes, T West and I casted that set yesterday, Vivi versus Sito, so that's going to be on the Twitch VOD. And as you were saying, T West, we have absolutely seen players run out of resources on their starting island and get starved out on this very map. So that's something that both players are going to need to keep an eye out for. We've seen this game, be much more aggressive and end early on. We've seen this one go to full Imperial Age, but right there, fishing ships going to be built very far away from each other as you have DauT docking in the back and Vivi docking sort of in this corner area. Or the player res, I don't know. But this is definitely, Atoll is a map that's been around for a very long time. It's not a new one by any means. But this one has changed, so the starting island is larger, and the middle island is much narrower. So it's more surface area can be bombarded by ships. And
you have a lot more wood on your starting island,
yeah,
too.
There's a lot more wood on your starting island, and the shallows, yeah, a lot narrower.
Yeah, and so Vivi docking the side of the island a bit more aggressive there, also out in the corner where there usually are more fish. DauT just going very defensively straight to the back. And, well, do you think there's room for a Viking player? I guess Vivi's not going to do it, just going Loom, but to go maybe FC Longboat with how far apart they are?
I would still be hesitant to do that.
Okay, so I'm thinking DauT's dock placement indicates more of an FC than a feudal build just by being so far to the back. And you could go FC Fires, but that's something that would probably lose to FC Longboat.
Yeah, and even just massing up a ton of galleys with a long sailing distance to your opponent feels a little bit tricky. It looks like both players are doing what is, as far as I can tell, a very regular-looking Grush build, straight out of ye old days. Just getting that extra fishing ship out a little bit faster as Vivi, getting the early wood savings on the dock, and it seems like a very nice build from him.
Yep, and when you're this far apart, usually it is galleys. And we'll see if it's 2 or 3 docks. Bengali ships heal. Vikings have that insane discount, so I think I do still favor Vikings. Honestly, if it just comes down to a galley fight.
Is it going to be a galley fight, though?
DauT wants to turn this into a fire galley fight. So that's why his dock is in the back. It's going to be in a safer location so that Vivi can't just sail forward and hit the fish. He's going to go forward with the dock. And this might mean he needs more wood to get 2 forward docks right away. But he wants to be close to Vivi's docks so that he can force a fight with fire galleys and not give Vivi the time to mass up all those galleys as the Vikings.
My concern, however, for DauT is that, well, 1, the fishing ships are going to spot the dock, and 2, I mean, you have double galley production to 1 fire galley production. Your Bengalis, you're not Dravidian, so you don't get the 200 wood, you get 2 villagers, which is sort of better in the long run, but worse in the short run. And of course, it's going to take a very long time for that other fire galley to even make it to the front lines. And I think DauT might have been anticipating an FC from Vivi, but that's just not what's happening.
And what DauT wants to do also is use his scout to stop any repairs from Vivi, but if you're going galleys, you're usually not repairing.
Exactly the case. And unlike fire galleys, it's much easier for the galleys to snipe that forward villager, and obviously you don't want that at all as DauT. So this is already a very tricky situation. Galleys immediately sailing to the west for Vivi. Just going to try and get as much space as possible, but the fishing ships are being idled, so at the very least there's that going for DauT.
Oh, and the scout coming over from Vivi, so that's actually going to deny DauT from doing another dock, and he's just going to be trapped there with the galleys. So down goes the Vill, and now he only has 1 dock. And this feels really good for Vivi here. Oh, that's exactly what he wanted. He can feel the victory, I think.
And that was just such a great unit movement. And again, this is something that was sort of like that next step for Vivi to take in that his gameplay. Like, look at this unit movement. He avoids the fire galley with his fishing ships as he knows his opponent is sailing this way because he sees it with the dock line of sight. He sails his galleys around to snipe the villager he knows is hanging around here, and then his fishing ships, while escaping, just make their way to this other really good dock location and have plenty of fishing room. I mean, like, it is hard to have better unit movement than that in that particular situation. Now he's going to go for the counterattack, but it looks like DauT's in a much better spot to defend.
Yeah, DauT should be able to defend his back fish, but on the other hand, that dock is pretty inefficient against the narrow part of the edge of the map. All the big fish near the dock are basically gone now. He's maybe 1 more.
Looks like DauT, smart move as well. He knows the fishing ships are somewhere on the map, so looking for it, and he will find the dock, so great move there from DauT. And those fishing ships are going to force to retreat again. 33 villagers per player. Remember, of course, Bengalis get the 2 extra. And fletching coming in, though, for Vikings. I mean, I was going to say that it's going to be good for Vivi to overwhelm DauT with his galley numbers, but it's only 5 galleys to 6. It's not the greatest production ever.
Yeah, but once fletching comes in, he's going to be on point with his galley micro. And shouldn't be threatened anymore. He's going to move his fish back. But because DauT has been fishing this entire time, he is up to the castle age. As much as Vivi saved his fish, they were idled sailing back and forth.
Exactly, and
DauT used the market to go up. Selling the stone, buying the food.
It looks like, DauT was actually able to escape with his scout cavalry. The fire galley was able to snipe the scout cavalry, and that's going to be a dead villager for Vivi. That's going to be another villager who's in a little bit of trouble. There's a spearman on the way, but DauT's certainly not giving up yet, even as the water fights should be going extremely well for the blob of galleys with fletching.
Yeah, but now this castle age time has me a bit worried for Vivi. He's going to need a lot of galleys. And just going to need to be able to hold against fires. I think it's just crucial that he killed that forward villain and didn't let DauT get 2 forward docks.
Yeah, that would have been problematic for sure. And more fire galleys are going down in the process, so all of those that you can snipe before the war galley upgrade comes in is huge. You can see that the fire galley in the back is still just trying to focus down the fishing ships of Vivi. Still 4-3, so it's just one that was killed in total, and then a few villagers going down. And I mean, this game had a really good start for Vivi. It was awkward for DauT, but DauT himself able to use the market, able to have good job snooping out where the other fishing ships are and the docks with his fire galleys, and now he's doing okay.
And DauT gonna move his fishing ships and try to get another dock up, just get more access to those fish on the side of the map. And that's gonna be just as Vivi comes around. Well, will DauT be able to stop those galleys? He can get the demo out of the dock at a good time here, and maybe snipe off some galleys. Ooh, his gold is right close to the galleys too.
Oh, but is it a bait?
Demo.
Oh, we saw that yesterday from somebody as well, baiting the galleys into this little area with the gold miners nearby, and then just getting a big demo hit. I forget who it was, though.
If only that were after War Galley were upgraded and he had a demo ship, but still got a good connection there, and they're all pretty low on HP now. So the next fire ship that comes out should be able to defend.
Wait, DauT has an elephant archer?
He did an archery range in the middle.
Yeah, I did.
Elephant archers. He needs to tank that tower fire with the elephant archer. Then he can idle the berries.
You know what? I didn't have this on my bingo card today. The demo, probably not going to get the biggest hit in the world against the galleys, but of course, you also have the war galley upgrade coming in. Remember, guys, that even a demo ship cannot one-shot a regular galley. It's 110 damage versus 120 HP. But, you know, it's villagers versus elephant archers. The exact matchup we all anticipated. As DauT, despite a rough start, it's just, sometimes about getting that tech advantage. And it's really awkward now for Vivi.
And now DauT can heal the elephant archer. Yes. I was going monks and elephant archers.
All right, Castle Agent here for our blue player, but I mean, he's just making skirms from one range. It's not all that impressive. DauT has the double monasteries here.
And what are the Vikings going to do here? We see a stable, so Vivi may be thinking of light cav, but how's that going to hold up against potential elephant archers?
Cute little job there from Vivi to snipe the fishing ships of DauT, who is now on 0. But remember, DauT himself, he's got the forward dock that can't really destroy that easily in Feudal Age. And the fishing ships for both players are going to be going down. Plenty of fire ships alive for DauT, and he now has an excellent KD. And good.
All of Vivi's galleys are really low on HP, and the fire should have no problem picking them off. So DauT picking up the relics in the middle and going triple monastery. And this is what we talked about. All the gold is in the middle. Once your main gold runs out, then you're stuck on your home island.
And you're also stuck going light cav right now as Vivi to help deal with all those monks. Like, light cav skirm, it doesn't really feel great. You can't really do that and Navy at the same time. The issue with the Vikings, and what's always been the issue for Vikings on hybrid maps, is that you're not really good at making Navy and Army at the same time. Fire ships, you have a very low investment. They don't require any upgrades other than more galley, at least not early on. Whereas the galleys, they need a big blob, and they need their archery range-ish upgrades, fletching ballistics.
Yep, and can combo pretty well if you're also going archer skirm, but less well for the light cav.
Monks coming in here. Remember, those Bengali monks are heavily armored. They've got their Kevlar robes.
They've got their Stolen Slavs unique tech as a civ bonus.
Indeed. And now, triple monks here. The scouts are in an awkward spot. Second TC for DauT, able to just buy back some stone. I mean, the tower's in a good spot here for Vivi at the front of his base, but he's just losing so many units right now. And DauT hanging in there. He said, I'm not out of this series yet.
No, he's not. He's taking a pretty good score lead now, getting a TC up in the middle and securing control of the middle. Maybe trying to add in some longboats on the water there, but just, again, DauT being forward with that dock with the fire ships is giving him the map presence to stop the longboats before they can be amassed and get to a number that can actually threaten the fires.
It's just going to be so hard to do that because you're making skirms, light cav, and longboats all at once. That's really difficult to do. going to be difficult to even group up all of your ships together. I do like how Vivi's like sneaking in some extra fishing ships to help bolster his eco, and the overall villager number is actually pretty decent for him, and he's still even ahead in resources collected. So in this game, it's weird, but in some ways it's also kind of even. West.
Longboats being converted. DauT now is longboats.
Bengali longboats, let's go!
I don't think they heal, though. That would be sick if you converted them and they healed.
No, it's tied to the unit, not the civilization. So if for instance, Vivi converted one of the Bengali ships, it would still kill. You see the fire ships sort of coming in over here, able to pressure the longboats in this narrow channel area. Still, I mean, it's still such an awkward spot. I mean, it's 20 army to 5. DauT's KD is excellent. Yeah, he's still behind in resources collected. It's the second TC just now coming in here for Vivi. But it's just such a mess right now for our blue player to deal with.
Yeah, and as good as the Vikings are on water, the Bengalis just, they have this ability to go for the monk rush that the Vikings just can't do themselves.
I mean, not only can you not monk rush, but you're really bad against a monk rush because you don't generally want to be making mass light cav. Still trying to squeeze in some more fishing ships, and I love that. Like, if, you know, any little thing you can do to keep up with your opponent economically is going to be huge. We're at 8 monks and counting, though, here for DauT.
And these Bengali monks are just so hard to clean. All that armor they have keeps them alive, and then they start healing each other. The tower here doing work for Vivi, killing quite a few monks that just wander into it. That's unit control. Not perfect, but so far doing the job as he gets up a workshop.
Oh, and look at this, though. DauT still being active with his ships. He's going to spot these fishing ships, and that is going to be a decent chunk of Vivi's food eco. And Vivi also still only on the 1 stable, so it's 1 stable light cav production versus triple monastery monk production, so it's not actually going to be enough light cav to deal with all of those monks. Not something we see every day, but it's kind of the situation we find ourselves in.
Yeah, those light cav can try to hoover all they want, but if they're significantly outnumbered, not only if they struggle to kill the monks, but then the monks heal themselves. Demo not really connecting on anything. And at this point, it feels like Vivi is just kind of training longboats for DauT.
Yeah. So, I mean, longboats do at least have a little bit of conversion resistance, as all ships do. And forging at least is in on the light cav. And I want to say there's an interaction with forging light cav and Bengali monks where I think the armor doesn't matter at that point. I think they might still be able to two-shot them.
Let me see. They have 3 melee armor, and the light cav have 7 attack.
8 attack plus 10 monks, so it's 18 minus 3. Yeah, it's exactly that. I remember that testing, so it's still a 2-hit kill with forging and without sanctity. There we go. All of those dumb tests that I've done coming into play. Yeah, it's still a 2-hit kill on the monk right there.
Until the monks start healing.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's exactly a 2-hit kill.
Then it starts to matter more. Oh, castle from
oh,
DauT,
no.
And that can't be denied because the longboats would be forced to fight with the monks.
Yeah, I think this castle is going to go up.
That's a give me your longboat castle right there.
And the longboats are being given, and the castle's still on its way up, guys. The monks are dying, but this is such a strong position at the front of Vivi's base that DauT's going to be happy to lose several villagers and monks here to get this castle in this forward position, as I can't imagine there's all that many resources left in blue space. Around 1,600 stone, around 2,600 gold. Demo even coming in over there. Oh man, just units dying left and right for each player. DauT, I love the stone walls here at the front of his main island, so there aren't any light cav runarounds. I mean,
heated shot time? I mean, it could be heated shot time.
Yeah, both these civs have heated shot.
We would need probably the range upgrades too for that castle, but yeah. It would be extra effective against the longboats. Oh, there's the Ratha. There's the Ratha.
Honestly, there's literally nothing to stop one Ratha from killing all those fills.
Yeah, the Ratha can just sit out there on the stone mine, and now Vivi does not have stone access.
Yeah, he's trying to save up for Imperial Age, and he is going to be ostensibly getting a very good imp time. Doesn't have the building. Okay, he's going to rush that up. University there. I mean, this is just such a tough position here for our Vikings player.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the way back would be if he somehow is able to get up a castle and win a Trub War, but that's not going to be possible if the Ratha is idling the Vils and forcing them away from the stone.
Yeah, and there's already
buy the remaining stone.
Yeah, there's still a ton of fire ships out. I just love how active DauT has been in continuing to make Navy, making sure that the longboat numbers never get to where they need to be. Alright, so Monk is going to try and shoo away the Ratha as more stone is incoming, but even if DauT loses this castle, he's going to have so many more units. There's going to be no Navy presence at all for Vivi, that it's still a terrible position for him, as there's no way for him to secure middle gold anytime soon.
And DauT's extending this series. He's not going to go down 3-1. I think this is now DauT's game to win. 84 to 68 Vils. He has all the map presence. He has... How many relics are there on the map? There is 2 in DauT's monastery. I don't see any more. Are there only 2 relics here? I thought there were 3.
I just kind of assume a map has 5 relics, but this one could be a little different.
Now, there's Vivi going for his own castle, but DauT has a mangonel.
Got a fleet of fire ships incoming. Oh, this is just so feels bad, man. DauT is on his way up to the Imperial Age. Vivi just massively behind in Vils. And again, he's going to run out of gold really soon. He has less than 1,000 gold left for him to take. And with 1,000 gold or less, he needs to clear this castle, clear the Navy, and somehow fight his way to secure at least one of these golds, like right here or somehow right there. And that just feels like too tall of an order.
DauT himself is up to imp. How many demos to blow up a castle? A lot. Yeah, don't go demos versus castles, unless you can like one hit a foundation. I've seen that before, but
I have too. Yeah.
Yeah, demos don't have much anti-building.
Yeah, I mean they do have anti-building damage. It's just not much. It's usually double their base attack. So you do 3 times damage essentially against buildings. But 330 damage isn't actually that much. That's 3 demos to one-shot a house. Still, you do have that imp advantage. Trebuchet is on the way, but like I said, gold is about to become nil. Siege Elephants coming in. Vivi's going to be able to quick wall in those, or I guess the 1 Trebuchet right now, but this reeks of desperation.
It does. We have the armored elephants there. And maybe the one thing DauT's missing is the clutching bodkin line on the castle to be able to hit the knight and protect the elephants. But he's going to get his own trebs out now.
He's going to be able to get his own trebuchets out. He's going to be able to grab fast fire ship immediately. He actually has 3 TCs here on the center island, so he's actually getting all those extra villagers at once. 126 to 80 pop, or 87 pop. Castle getting low, and you are almost out of gold as Vivi. You have no naval presence whatsoever to 18 fire ships, and I just don't see it for him.
18 fast fire ships. There's the treb from DauT. DauT also has a bit of a hill there by his castle. I don't know if the castle itself counts as being on the hill, but his trebuchet will.
That's just going to be an added bonus right there. You do have more stone left. I mean, it's not like the worst stone count in the world at home for Vivi, but again, it's like, what's your win condition right now as Vivi? I'm struggling to find it.
He's going to be out of gold.
Yep. I mean, of course, you do have your best friend, the market, but even so...
Yeah, DauT has chemistry on the way, and soon it's going to be cannon galleons, too, if he wants to make them from the dock, and he can get around the back of Vivi's island and just surround everything.
It's going to be so tough. I like the armored elephants. He never really stopped producing them. Now the longboats are bopping out as soon as the castle is down, but it's not really going to be enough to save his own castle. There's still the 10 gajillion fast fire ships there, give or take 2 or 3. Even masonry coming in.
Well, after the castle goes down.
Yeah. Oh! Cute little flank there from the demo. I mean, it doesn't really matter, guys, but hey, it's cute.
I still feel like if DauT had done fletching Bodkin, then he probably saves his castle because his Armadillos would stay alive. But small things like that still matter in these Treb Wars.
Oh, they absolutely do. But at the same time, I mean, that's fine. He's got vills even to repair the Trebs as needed. Now, he doesn't have another castle, but with all of this middle area stone, he'd be fine regardless. And there we go, guys. DauT able to take game number 5 on his final home map. And honestly, super well played from DauT. It was an awkward start for him. Ended up not finding the fishing ships immediately, ended up losing the forward villager, but it was just this pressure across the land. It gave DauT that middle presence, and Vivi was never really able to catch up to that. Here we go. Game number 6 in our best of 7. We'll have Vivi in the blue as the Hindustanis to sort of the center-ish of the map, and not too far away from him will be the Lord himself, DauT, in the red as the Gujaras.
Ooh, and I love DauT's TC location. Right on the wood line and with 2 to 3 shorefish accessible from the vills there. Vivi's TC, on the other hand, I don't like that. He doesn't really have shorefish access there. He's going to bottleneck himself in that one tile gap.
Yeah, normally, guys, you want your TC to be sort of facing a face of one of these ponds, not sort of this sort of corner area. That said, you also need your TC to come down as quickly as possible, but DauT, way, way more fortunate TC location. Going to be able to take from those shorefish right away. But also, you're not getting your mill typically, like, instantly, although there are a lot of goats on this version of the map for some reason.
Yep, this version of the map, again, it's not like African clearing. It's more similar to the original Bedouins, where the shorefish have 300 food instead of their standard 200. There are a lot more trees in the middle, so you can justify doing the TC there and not as close to the edge. And you have a couple of boars scattered around, but not the big elephants or rhinos that you see on African clearing. So you have much less hunted food.
Oh, okay, so he's able to get like 5-6 goats that way. DauT does not have a mill yet, unless I'm missing it.
Yeah, he does. It's all the way to the left, on the western side of the map.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys, that I didn't naturally expect the mill to be randomly on the opposite side of the map. Well, he's going to get a lot of goats in it.
Yeah, that is what you see in the 9 vill start quite a bit. Because your vills are so spread out, you're not going to get all 9 of them to the TC in time. So you take a vill or 2 and build the mill on the side like DauT did.
Well, regardless, it's going to be a nice opening for DauT. His mill's in a good spot here with the shorefish nearby. His TC's in a great spot. The one thing that concerns me for him is gold access. He can't take the gold that's way to the back of his base, but that's going to be far. No matter what, the gold is going to be exposed. Whereas for Vivi, he does have this gold at the front, but it's at least pretty close to his TC.
Yeah, and Vivi does have another gold to the back. He already has a couple of houses out by it.
Yep.
And of course, with 9 villagers, you do usually get some pretty good scouting on this map.
Yeah, 9-ville starts in general make Nomad maps a lot more consistent in terms of your early openings. But DauT scouting is excellent so far already. Much more so than Vivi's. And he'll have a pretty decent idea what's going on. I think both players have a good idea where the opponent... Oh, maybe Vivi does not know yet. DauT clearly knows. He took a bunch of arrow fire from the TC. I think this goat here might find the TC of DauT. Maybe? Maybe this goat.
This goat should find it. He sees the house at least. Yep, okay, he lost the goat, so he sees house and lost goat. That equals TC.
And as a rule... Okay, so Vivi clicking up to Feudal Age. It looks like he got his TC down faster. So, of course, that's the downside of going for, I guess, you know, waiting for a bit of a better spot to get your TC. Sometimes you just want to get that extra villager just working. And that is going to give our blue player that 1 vill advantage. Obviously, there's no reason to get Loom and Dark Age on this map. It's not like you're going to get killed by a Scout Cavalry. And so, looks like we could just be opting for a normal-ish looking Scout War. But already, I mean, we have 11 goats garrisoned. I know it's a logarithmic formula now, as you'd be happy to tell
is.
people, but still, I mean, that's a lot of goats.
It is a lot of goats. But at some point, I think when you have that many, DauT probably wants to be ungarrisoning them here and there and just taking the goats under the TC. But not until you're done with all the shorefish, because those shorefish have so much food on them. Yeah, you're going to be taking them for a while.
Yep. And Gajara camels win cost efficiently in Imperial Age versus the Imp camels. In mid-game, though, I think it's a lot closer. How much is 11 vills? Well, the 8 goats normally is around 1 extra vill on food. So it's a little bit more than 1 extra vill on food. Anyway, double stable here, obviously very close to each other. Both players grabbing double bit axe, DauT already with a spearman on the way. So, I mean, this is going to be quite hot and dirty here. We're going aggressive. DauT already nicely ahead in resources collected. Scout cavalry on the way, Scout cavalry on the way. And Vivi currently opting out of any spearmen. I can't help but like this start for DauT. I mean, again, he's already nicely ahead in resources.
Yep, I'm just typing in a formula here. We see it's about 28 food per minute with all those sheep or all those goats in the middle with 11.
Yeah. Well, the quick balls to the north of Vivi's TC are on point, but it's still just the numbers are better for DauT. And Vivi also with idols that he's going to need to task quickly, and I mean, DauT having a really smooth start to this game. Spearmen are coming in, though. They're going to shoo away the Scout Cavalry. DauT has more of those guys coming in. And DauT also with 3 vills going on to gold somewhere. Here they are, all the way at the back. And that means, I mean, you could switch into archers, and I think that's what DauT's going to be doing, but it also could mean you could have gone camel scouts.
Yeah, it's also tricky to go scouts when you're this close to each other, because the spears come out so easily. And you end up getting poked right away.
Range is down here for Vivi as well. He's going for an archer, but he doesn't have any gold income, unlike DauT does. So that is going to be not great production from him. I mean, like, DauT is already climbing so far ahead in resources here. 300 more wood and 100 more food. This just doesn't feel like a game that you can really afford to fall behind on.
So both players going to gold and wanting some archers. But yeah, I am very curious about the ability to add in that camel scout here for DauT. Because 1 camel scout makes a big difference because it's just the mobility that you have against the enemy scouts. With how open this map is and how many holes there are everywhere for the scouts to get in and out.
Yeah. Tower coming in for both players, but DauT bringing his own spearman to the front lines. Again, it's 5 spearmen from DauT. He hasn't stopped his spearman production. Vivi has. I mean, Vivi never really started it that much to begin with. I just don't know about this here for our blue player. Both players have the towers fully garrisoned at this stage. Villagers taking some shots there. But, I mean, the eco lead is just growing more and more for DauT over time. Vivi's eco is significantly less efficient than his opponents. I mean, mill aside.
And now that tower fight is really important because it means Vivi's not able to take any gold, and he's going to have to go for skirmishers. He's not going to be able to go for those archers like he might have wanted to do. And DauT doing a good job getting spears all over to defend himself against the scouts that are going to be hoovering around.
Yeah, it looks like Vivi is going to win the tower war. DauT does lose a vill there. Perhaps that is a little bit sloppy. Yeah, the scouts are just kind of running around for both players. So long as DauT is shadowing the scouts of his opponent, I'm sure he's probably fine. As both players coming forward, it's robot fighting time. As DauT's going to try and keep the tower alive.
Oh, the walls! DauT, the quick walls from DauT!
Oh, this is looking really rough for Vivi, to say the very least, as DauT just
getting the
so
repairs.
insanely far ahead in Army. He's ahead in Eco, and this is just a complete catastrophe for Vivi.
Yep, and that forward gold now denied, and Vivi's gonna have to go far to the back to find more gold at this point. And DauT has a goat back there he could scout for it. I think crucially for Vivi, if you look at DauT's line of sight, he did not see that gold to the north of those two houses from Vivi, so he might have a clandestine location to go to, at least for the moment.
Yeah, but Vivi has no way of knowing that himself. But I mean, this game, it seems like DauT just had a way better early game than his opponent, and got his production going sooner. I mean, Vivi's just really struggling here. I mean, already 1,000 resources behind before 16 minutes is just not something you can easily come back from, especially if DauT's been taking better fights. He's been able to produce way more units. This is just, it's a lot to ask for Vivi to come back in this game.
And now it's 18-9 military. Those are low HP scouts that will just be picked off as they run into DauT's army. And DauT on scouts and archers, and at this point, enough scouts, it feels like, that the scout archer, especially with more production, will be better than the scout skirmisher combo, and Vivi has to go for some towers now to try to defend himself.
And he's gonna try and secure some stone here. Fletching's even in for DauT. No way that's in for Vivi, and it's not. And DauT's even, like, he's made way more army, and he's looking to click up to Castle Age way faster. Like, this is just such a sad game here for Vivi. That's taking all these shorefish for free.
And Vivi just had to invest into those farms. Just 10 farms, and DauT now sees the other gold. And DauT's probably happy to see that Vivi has not moved out to it.
Not a whole lot for Vivi to do here. This feels like, DauT already selling a stone. Gotta market somewhere, I think. Hard to say. Otherwise, like, what has he spent the stone on? Oh, the tower, duh.
Yeah, it was some tower fighting. And there we go, DauT clicking up to the Castle Age. And it might be GG as soon as he gets up.
Yeah. This is just kind of one of those games where on Nomad maps sometimes you just fall way too far behind with having a worse Dark Age, and DauT had great execution. He took the fights early on, got a lot of damage done, and I mean, this was like Vivi never really had a chance.
Does Vivi even have a blacksmith? He's
It's
building one
coming
right
in.
now.
Yeah.
And let's just double check. DauT has one blacksmith, not two.
Only at half power.
I also find it sad how on the left, DauT has had one goat sitting a tile away from his mill this entire time. He could have had it in there,
Yeah, that's funny.
generating ever so slightly more food.
The value.
11 versus 12 doesn't really matter at that point in the formula, but still.
Yeah, I mean, but we didn't really have the resources. Because DauT just had so many more resources hitting Feudal Age.
It'll have Bloodlines and Castle Age on the way at the same time, and I guess that just means it's Trump Strider time as soon as he gets up. Double stables.
I mean, it's 7 skirmishers is the only army for Vivi. And towers, I suppose, but... Yeah, Shabram Striders are going to be doing just fine there. Okay, hopefully that's just going to be GG, because I don't really see anything here for Vivi, and it feels like we might just need to go to game number 7 for all the marbles.
Oh, Vivi not giving up, though.
That's
He's not
true.
giving up. He's on stone, and he's going to try to click up and eventually do some type of castle drop behind the strength of that market and hope that that can win it for him. The problem is, I think that Chakrams, if DauT goes for his own castle, should counter Gulams fairly well.
They do,
Ah,
and
there's a
there we
GG.
go. GG called, guys. Look, 15% more efficient in economy for DauT. That is, like, completely insane.
And there we go, game 7 time. GG.
Alrighty, everybody, here we go. Game 7. It is on Tier Garden. And it will be DauT in the blue as the Mayans to the west of the map and to the east. You don't want to let this series slip away, but I mean, it's Vivi with Huns, and that's definitely going to be a big comfort pick for him as well.
Yeah, classic AOC matchup, Huns versus Mayans. And this is Tier Garden, where, of course, we have our victory column right in the middle of the map with the lovely path terrain objects placed in it. We have a double layer of rock terrain, wood terrain. To get to the middle, you cannot build buildings on the rock terrain, so you can't fully wall yourself. But you can do small walls to protect your lumber camps, and you can wall yourself basically into your corner. There are some berries out there by each player's outpost. As far as I've seen the map, everyone just ignores those, and the fight is really over the middle.
I mean, at least until like it's the 4th TC or something like that. It's certainly not a priority, as usually this map is all about taking this middle area, which, as people are pointing out in chat quite correctly, Mayans are going to chop through slower too.
That's a good point. The longer lasting wood, the classic forest nothing nerf that it actually hurts you and makes you take longer to get through. You see, it's why you kind of put mines on a lower priority on a map like Chaos Pit. Because it takes you so long to chop through the wood.
Where the Celts pick needs to come in, man. Get through the wood the fastest. All right, guys, this is going to be interesting because, yes, it is awkward for Mayans to chop through to the middle, but if you're fighting in these more concentrated areas, shall we say, you know, like on this sort of rocky ring in the middle that we see a lot, or even in the central opening area, that's where Mayans are going to be doing well because their army is just so cheap and efficient. And Huns, if they're going to win here for Vivi, it feels like he needs to play more on the outside and use that mobility advantage you have.
Yep, use the mobility of scouts and cav archers. But we're going to see a similar situation on this map like we did on Enclosed in Game 1, where you're so far apart, and you have to go all the way around the middle to get to your opponent. That the rush distance is bigger than on pretty much any other map. Oh, and also the colors. We need DauT in the red and Vivi in the blue.
Good call.
There we go. We'll catch that in the Dark Age this time.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Vivi deleted one of his pavilions just to get a mill up. Well, he's Hun, so I guess that doesn't matter.
Yeah, the pavilion is not the most important building in the world there for our Huns player. Even though
they're just replacement houses.
It's
for
the Saladin Pavilion.
Space. Yeah, and they don't do anything for the Huns, so they don't need houses.
Indeed. All right, guys, let's see how this one's going to go. DauT just up one villager later, and with Mayans, so he's, essentially a villager ahead because Mayans don't need to get Loom immediately in Dark Age with the 9 vill start, so that's a little bit of a buff to the Civ right there. And with a couple vills going on to gold, we have to imagine it will be for your basic archer opening. Meanwhile, Vivi probably going to be going more towards the scouts as the barracks come in.
Masmora joking in the chat, imagining the pop goes back to 195. We actually had a bug in the Willowloo Kingdoms days with the Slavs bonus, where if you started with the barracks and then deleted all your buildings, you actually would have -5 pop space.
Oh, that's funny. I don't remember that one.
You'd have to get a very peculiar mega random generation for it really to happen, but it was a bug.
Vivi also not, I think, super prioritizing any one. Yeah, I guess maybe that one right there. But yeah, Feudal Age is going to be in here for our blue player. Will be for a stable. There we go. He'll pick up Bidax, I'm sure, in just a moment as well. And I still feel like Mayans, despite the slower, burning through trees. I mean, I like the fact, you go for the defensive tower, you rely on archers, skirmishers, spearmen to sort of keep yourself safe in this little bubble to, at the entrance of this central area. And if you just keep yourself, quick-walled on your resources on the outside, it feels like you can set yourself up pretty nicely.
Yeah, and here, we often don't see the tower on the first wood line, but on the second wood line, just to protect your vills from any fighting that happens in there. That's usually where the fighting happens from what we've seen on this map.
Yep.
Also, another point I just noticed, the players are chopping kind of on the diagonal bits of the wood line. That usually means you have to go through an extra tree. If you go to the sides, you only have 2 trees to go through.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about that, but I think they just want to get the lumber camp down as quickly as possible. And it's not really the most important thing to go, immediately to this sort of second ring of I guess, rocky terrain.
Yeah, and DauT gonna face the downsides of being the mines, where Eagle Warrior gets picked off by scouts.
Still, you are a
Yeah, 9
villager ahead
villagers
of mines.
start, so this
And around 200
9 villagers
resources.
start, so the sub 7-minute feudal is the standard here.
And this is what I was saying. Okay, DauT just needs to make sure the villagers on the forage bushes to the west of his base are safe. Which, I mean, Vivi doesn't even know about. And you see the villagers here, there are a lot of them, so it's not like they're actually going to be all that scared. We have 3 spearmen out for DauT. We saw in the last game that he was not afraid to use the spearmen. And that is going to be the case here, is we have nothing at home to defend for Vivi. And we got the Leary army. He's just missing his starting Eagle Warrior. 2 spearmen, an archer, and missing the scout.
Yeah, and missing the second archer, like 2 archers versus 1 is a pretty big difference. Because now that tower can go up, and really there's nothing to stop. The Bills can turn and fight the spears.
Oh, this feels like a bit of a mistake maybe for Vivi. He lost a lot of scout HP there, probably while he was focusing on the fight with the villagers on the other side. And already, it feels like DauT in a pretty decent spot. He continues to utilize his barracks. He's going to keep on having that army advantage. And the skirmishers at home, going to be costing a lot of food, could slow down the scout production. That seems to be what's happening. And just a lot of spearman hits coming in. Clutching even for the archers as well for DauT, as both players kind of take alternate routes around the map. You do have this outpost here to help you out at least a little bit as Vivi to see the units incoming, and it seems like he'll be chasing away the skirms for now. Or with the skirms for now.
Having the outpost actually on that side was really useful for Vivi, because that helped him just to spot that army right as it's going out.
Exactly the case. And so far, despite having fletching, the archers aren't going to want to take the engagement versus the skirmishers. Now, as Feudal Age progresses, Scout Skirm could end up doing pretty well in this whole situation, but you need to make sure your units are together, and that is just not at all the case for the now as Vivi. And the Eagles have better line of sight than the skirmishers, and now the Eagles are going to dive bomb the skirms, and the scouts need to be there to help out, and they are not.
Yeah, it's tricky to keep your army together when you still want to be applying pressure with the scouts. But just kind of knowing that DauT had the army in the north should have given you like the impression DauT was going along that side. And here, I like how DauT is now moving his archers outside the outpost line of sight, as the Eagles finally do get cleaned.
Yeah, it felt a little needless just to have the Eagles chasing the skirmishers. You know the scouts can run in and catch up. And for his part, Vivi, not really with anything too close to the edge of the map. His forage bushes were just, they happened to be closer to the wood line. And now, villager could be on the wrong side of the blacksmith.
Yes, DauT needs to do a tower on his own gold to defend, but Vivi doesn't quite have the upgrades on the scouts he would need to take a fight.
That's offensive tower Zed. Was able to snag 1 villager. And DauT also has over a villager worth of idle time, so that's actually going to give Vivi a 1 vill advantage.
And DauT now throwing up a market is kind of close to buying his way up, at least closer than Vivi is.
Yep, of course, just the army is so cheap here with the Mayans. Forging coming in too, so Vivi wants to keep up with this pressure. Spearman production has notably stopped for DauT, so that could be giving a bit of an opportunity for these scouts to come in, as if the skirmishers can just take a good hit, you know, get one good volley on the spearman, it could be a bit more difficult for DauT at that point. And 1 villager definitely chopping wood on the wrong side of town, on the wrong side of the train tracks.
Yeah. And at this point, both players have chopped through the first layer of trees in the middle. And the question is, will they now do another lumber camp and try to go through the next layer? Kind of tight on wood for DauT, though. Only a few vills on the inside, and he needs to make sure they're walled from those scouts.
DauT is getting closer to Castle Age, but is he being too greedy on a map that you cannot fully wall because of that rocky terrain? And Vivi...
Oh, the scouts have forging.
And the scouts have forging, but the tower has fletching, and that might end up being more important as Vivi loses everything.
He doesn't kill a single villager there.
Oh,
Some low HP
no.
ones. but no bloodlines, no armor on the scout, and he tried to fight and did not take the fight all that well. Oh, that was awful for Vivi, as now it's DauT's turn to do some counterattack. And without any army, Vivi somehow has to hold it home as DauT clicks up to the Castle Age.
That was it was so well set up for Vivi. He had like 9 kills to 1 death or something. Now we're at 13 kills to 13 deaths. Got very little army at home. Now it's up to Castle Age. Vivi's not up to Castle Age. Vivi invested more into Feudal Age, and now DauT has more kills.
Just one fight like that. The scouts, it's so tempting to fight villagers as soon as you get forging, but without bloodlines and without the armor, you can't dive under that tower like you did.
Yep. One tower has 9 kills. Vivi getting a little too trigger happy there. And resources collected also ever so slightly better for DauT. Vivi's up to Castle Age, but it's going to be so much later. And DauT is indeed going to be going with the Eagle Warrior Flood, and I am not entirely sure how Huns are going to be stopping this without the ability to wall.
And Vivi also did the tower on the outside wood line, not on the inside wood line. And he needs to do another lumber camp at some point, because those villas are going to get very inefficient very soon.
Yeah, they're already pretty inefficient. Durham's going to be trying to take the best fight they can versus the archers. They have that +1 defense, so they're going to be much stronger and only taking 1 damage from the enemy archers. And those are at least all going to go down for our blue player. But the issue isn't going to be the archers going forward. It's going to be the eagles. And there's already 5 of them on the field. There's one standing by over here. And there's going to be more coming. Going to get that immediate Castle Age boost. And again, I'm not sure how Vivi's planning on not dying.
Immediately, we have the Eagle Warrior upgrade queued for DauT, and he's going to be hoovering around in the back of that base there, and probably sending the next Eagles through the middle. If he does have a tower, but what's that tower defending at this point?
Oh, bad pathfinding for that villager will cause her to die. I mean, I like the fact that Vivi's gathering from the forage bushes, and he's going to be going for a lot of food-heavy units, but I would not hate a triple stable play right now for Vivi.
I don't know how he'd afford it, though.
Just go...
He has 0 fills on gold.
Like Cav, at least to start. Just have something.
Yeah, Light Cav when he doesn't have any scouts to turn into Light Cav, though. This just has to be for knights. And maybe using the market to sell some food. That is the good thing about the food price increase in this situation. It is you can get more gold by selling it.
Oh, there's absolutely a hole here. 1,023%. Okay, knights are coming up, but Moraville's being killed by DauT. He is only on the 1 TC, gathering a little bit of stone over here, and the Eagles are going to start to hoover around the eco as they so historically like doing. Moraville's going to be in danger, and if you're just this much slower to Castle Age on an aggressive map, this is one way DauT's going to bring himself to the NAC main event.
Vivi trying to pump the knights. I mean, Vil counts still aren't all that different, 43 to 41. Maybe Vivi has a chance if he can really get some knights pumping. As there is no monastery, no forward monks for DauT, and the knights at least one-on-one will be better.
Maybe
not so many eagles out here now.
Monastery is a little bit rough. Still goes down on that gold over there. The Vil count still being even could be something. As DauT having that extra bit of idle time. Game's certainly not over yet. See if Vivi can hang in there, though, because this is just... It's where the Eagles snowball the advantage.
Yeah. And oftentimes Huns like going Cav Archer against Eagle just to have that mobility. And they have that 1 extra attack over crossbow, so they can still do a good amount of damage. But here, just with the timing, Vivi forced to go Knights. And the Knights production just is not at the same level as Eagle production from 3 barracks.
Yeah, especially no bloodlines hurts a lot. Knight numbers are still very low. DauT just not afraid to take fights, which he shouldn't be. Just has so many more units here.
And there is a monastery for Vivi, and that doesn't make sense to me when you're fighting the Eagles.
I think he just wants to heal up the knights.
He doesn't have any knights left to heal. He has a few, but...
Yeah, no, he's got a lot of low HP knights, actually.
He only has 6, though. Husbandry on the way. I feel like the third stable probably would have been the better option. I don't know. I mean, they do heal, but then Eagles have conversion resistance, so you're only using your Knights, your Monks to heal at that point.
DauT adding in a second
see,
TC behind this. He's adding Monks forward. This feels like DauT able to it's not quite a reverse sweep, but it's almost going to be a reverse sweep.
Yeah, and at this point, DauT gonna start taking eco lead with that extra TC. He can't quite finish him off with only Eagle spam. The Knights are there, and there are good numbers of Knights that can fight this without any forward Monks to protect the Eagles.
But he's just positioning himself to the wood line, though. And it's just that you can't go across the map with the Knights because you're just going to die at home. I mean, yes, Bloodlines is in, but the Monk should shoo away the Knights as well. And, I mean, there is a reason that we have the same players at LAN events over and over and over again. And that is just sort of that clutch factor that when a series is really tough, you just play your best AoE 2. And right here, this is exactly what DauT's doing. A lot of idle bills for some reason. Oh, okay.
They're just admiring the victory column.
Yeah, exactly. Third TC coming in the middle right now for DauT. Looking fantastic. I mean, Vivi literally can't even get to the middle of the map. Still around a 2-to-1 ratio of Eagles to Knights, and you have the Monks on top of it. You don't even have a second Monk on the way, and yeah, it's really unfortunate for Vivi, because again, he's not. That was going to go to NAC anyway, but you know, you gotta. If you want to go to the event, you have to show that you have the skills to do it. And unfortunately, Vivi, despite being up 3-1 and having 2 of his 3 home maps left, not really in a position to do anything.
It just took one bad fight on that gold without the upgrades he needed on the scouts under the tower, and just snowballed when he couldn't defend after that. And here, DauT, well, somehow using the very last pick in his draft instead of the very first pick, he's going to manage to take this win. And he knows how to play mines. There's one thing DauT knows how to do, it's play mines.
You certainly can't argue against that. DauT gonna back up a little bit. I mean, he knows that he doesn't need to take a fight here. He's absurdly far ahead economically. The Knights are gonna try and come in for a bit of a counterattack, though. DauT's gonna need to maybe run a little bit to the TC. I mean, this is a, you know, let's say 90.
Oh, the quick wall.
Yeah.
DauT.
Yeah. He's doing what he needs to do.
Quick walling.
Yeah.
That's tournament level DauT right there when he can get quick walls like that.
Yep. I mean, this is probably like a 93% chance one game for DauT. Vivi's still very much stuck on the 1 TC. DauT has 3 Monks on the field, which is really good to see. That said, this is like the worst possible fight for DauT. Right? That's not going to lose this game, right,
Monk
guys?
wasn't converting.
Like, not able to get a surround fighting in that choke point against the better units pound for pound. That, like I said, is like literally the worst fight you could take.
I mean, scores are still similar. And you do still have to be careful that the Knights are the better unit than the Eagle. The Eagles are just relying on their cheapness and their numbers. And Vivi still has a chance, maybe before that Pikeman upgrade really comes in, where he could maybe take a fight and overwhelm some numbers.
The thing is, I don't think DauT's eco's exposed enough, especially with these 4 Monks here.
And especially with the fact Vivi had not been chopping the middle, so he doesn't have a path to get in, and DauT's gonna castle drop Vivi's remaining wood line. We talked about using towers to do this in other sets, but here DauT just gonna go for the castle.
Why not?
And if this might be the safest castle DauT has ever constructed.
Seriously?
There's no way Vivi can stop that.
There's literally nothing you can do. Devotion coming into... I mean, Vivi knows his win condition, and you gotta give the guy credit for that. Which is just a completely overwhelmed DauT right now, right here. Sending some units over this way. Again, I think it's just one of those situations where it's just too far gone.
And now, Devotion on the way for Vivi. He's going to have fully upgraded Knights. And maybe he could take a fight as DauT's kind of chasing down the middle.
Yeah, this is not going to be very ideal at all for Vivi. All those monks are going to be getting lots of value. That is all 5 conversions. Perfect, perfect, perfect play from DauT. I mean, yeah, there's nothing you can do to save the monks. That said, yeah, I mean, I don't think you can defend here.
Yeah, where does Vivi even take wood now? Because of that castle, he's gonna be outside the tower where he's already chopped everything. It's gonna be very dangerous.
Knight's gonna be running here towards the middle. DauT is, once again overchopped, and this is too much to quick wall for DauT. Those vills are gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Fight happening here near the TC. More vills are gonna be going down. I mean, even iron casting in for those knights.
At the same time, DauT losing some army. It's now 16 to 12, and Vivi has somehow managed to get into the middle with DauT over chopping. Now has some eagles there. Now has some knights there.
Uh-oh. I said it was a 93% chance for DauT to win earlier. Now I think it's like a 66% chance for DauT to win, let's say. Which is still insane.
He's still in the middle. He's still in the middle, and he still has 72 to 58 vills. But it's just tricky to fight all those knights.
It's less of a sure thing than it was just a little bit ago.
Another knight in the back even causing some disruption. And just, I wonder if Vivi has room just to try to get maybe another lumber camp and chop 2 trees to get a better path for fighting in the middle, because DauT can re-wall this now.
That is, of course, exactly what he is doing. Main barding armor in. I mean, it's 2 monks. But still, the issue is that the pikemen are fighting the knights in very low numbers, right? There are more pikemen than knights. It's just, they're not all together at the same time in the same place. Even more dead vills. Oh my goodness, guys. This is about as intense as it gets. DauT has so many resources, he might even... Actually, what did he just spend them on?
He used the market.
Yeah, I know he just used the market.
He bought a bunch of food and wood.
Only got 1 more pike. Okay, no, it's a TC. That's what he's doing. I mean, he's just going to go try full-on middle of the map, but you don't really need gold right now as DauT. I mean, you just need like a couple monks. You need mostly pikemen, as your opponent is very obviously all in knights. Remember, Vivi has no extra TC. It's still 63 vills to 81. I guess technically Vivi does have the superior eco upgrade with wheelbarrow. But even so, I think we have to give Vivi so much credit for making this game even remotely close.
And remember, it's not like all the gold is in the middle. There are gold spots on the outside that Vivi can run to if he still needs some. It's still 16 military to 14. And the knights should be able to take some good fights at some point.
I only got 1 more kill since Feudal Age. More knights charging in. And again, yeah, you have 11 pikemen to 16 knights. That's already not great. But, okay, no, the pikemen are actually getting, like, the concave here, which is what they need.
They're also going down.
Yeah.
The knights have full upgrades. The pikemen are missing their second armor.
That they are. The monks are at 2. Vivi has the score lead.
He's somehow down by 5k res collected, but has the score lead.
Monks are able to go right back to the monastery TC area. More kills coming in. 85 to 101 pop. There's another wave of knights on the way. Gold is kind of running low in this area, but again, there's still plenty of gold on the outside. That's not an issue. This is not the fight you want as Vivi, though, I think.
It'll be a close one.
Yeah, but you want not
knights
close
going
fights.
Down there. You needed the hill there.
Oh my goodness.
I feel like...
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like Vivi needs some forward stables. Just he's running all the way around the map the entire time.
Vivi has 800 stone in the bank, West.
Well, where's he going to drop a castle? And even if he does drop a castle, DauT's going to be imp soon. He's not going to be able to do a Trebor.
Not in the slightest. Yeah, I think once imp comes in, and DauT is completely safe in the middle of the map. I think that it's probably totally, completely over, because at that point you're getting Halbs, and obviously you're not doing anything against Halbs. Here we go! Yeah, here we
Post off
go!
finally for Vivi.
Knights don't really want to take that particular fight.
Okay, Vivi has decided he's going for a castle.
This is the only appropriate way to finish this game. But we have more monks, more pikemen incoming.
Yeah. And even after buying or spending all those resources on Imp, DauT still has all those vills on gold in the middle. He has the resources he needs to pump Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he really wants Eagles. I think he just wants Halb.
Well, he's going to need to get Halb. That's still a long ways away. For the moment, it's still just pikemen.
And pikemen missing their Castellite blacksmith upgrades to boot. Actually, just a little bit more.
And DauT doing his own castle right on the spot if he wanted it.
More knights incoming. Okay, now this is looking like a better number of pikemen in this fight. The villagers finish off the monk.
Yeah, and that there is a fight that DauT wanted, but he's still losing a lot of pikemen. Once Halb comes in, though, it's going to be a completely different feeling.
Like, again, this shouldn't really matter.
Yeah, DauT's going to 15 seconds away from just clicking Halb. Maybe, well, he bought food with the gold he needed for Halb, but he has enough bills on gold, it shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
There's Imp.
And just grab Halb almost immediately. GG there from Vivi.
There is the GG. And Vivi so close to making it to NAC. Had 3 chances to close it off, but DauT pulls it off. And look at that KD, 197 to 113. Knights are just better than Eagles and Pikes. Pound for pound in the Castle Age. It's all about that eco and keeping the army count enough that he has the ability to defend in multiple locations. But DauT does it. DauT will be at the no longer Nilly, but Noble Apartment Cup now.
Indeed, indeed. And, I mean, what an insane series, though. All 7 games, DauT with the almost reverse sweep. But yeah, when it came down to it, DauT played some of his best possible AoE too when it really mattered most. And I mean, he 1000% deserves that series, and he deserves to go to NAC, proving that yes, he is still a top 10 player. And I mean, it's just, again, just hanging in there, taking good fights. And what an impressive performance here from the Lord. And that will have almost all GL players qualified.